how's the landing strip looking?
All cleared up and ready for landing. Now it's all up to the pilot.
Can't believe it's almost over.
Been one heck of a journey, though. I guess we'll never know what that tower is, or those creatures in the forest.
Who cares? Are you guys up for one more movie before we get out of here?
Can we not do a horror movie? Maybe something a little more action-packed.
I got just the movie in mind.
Welcome to another episode of Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
Sam.
I'm a mild-mannered man who's not a superhero. I'm Frank.
Okay. I'm Vengeance.
Okay.
Okay, I believe you.
Where every week we discuss horror movies, slasher movies, thrillers, in a pretty in-depth and interesting conversation. A little bit of rambling here and there, but we have a good time.
We get to the point eventually.
We eventually get
At
to the
some
point. But before we do that,
K-A?
K.A.? No.
Stop doing that. Lady Snowblood?
Lady Snowblood. Tarantino ripped that shit so bad.
It's not a ripoff, it's an homage.
Yeah, right.
what are we talking about?
Lady Snowblood. It's this Japanese movie.
I've never seen it.
I'm gonna explain it to
Have
you.
you seen Kill
Oh,
Bill
I'm
2?
sorry.
Have you seen Kill Bill? Kill Bill 1 and 2? You've seen Lady Snowblood.
Yeah.
Oh, he lifted that movie.
Oh, so bad.
Almost
Wait,
so
so
tired.
bad.
but wouldn't he just admit it? He seems
He
like
just,
he would
no,
just
he'd
admit it.
say it's an homage.
But remember that one scene in Kill Bill where like they introduced all of the gang members
Yeah.
and they were hovering above? He lifted that right off. Bad. I was like Tarantino.
I just want to say,
Yeah.
I do really like and respect Quentin Tarantino. I am not a fan of Kill Bill 1 or 2.
What?
Why?
I don't like two. I
I
love
just don't
one.
think they're very good. I was very disappointed in both of them.
Those were
Oh.
some like
There
the
are scenes that I really like,
That was my
but
first.
overall,
They're too, like,
cartoony.
I don't know. It just
Asian.
didn't- Yeah, a little too Asian. It just didn't really work
Really,
for
there's
me.
no Asian people in this house right now. In this very moment.
Thank goodness for that, because we wouldn't let them in. It's very. I
And
just
that's
don't.
the end.
And I gotta go.
And I'm out.
Cut.
Drop the mic.
We just have someone else that's like Sam. It's an
It's
homage.
easier for me to name the.
Asians. Oh.
It's easier for me to name the movies I like of his than the ones I don't like, because it's a much shorter list.
What do you like? Pulp
Pulp
Fiction.
Fiction, Inglourious Bastards. Parts
Buongiorno.
parts of Django Unchained I think are really good. I think it's too long. Really too long.
when they go from A to B.
The third act is
and then, yeah,
ridiculously
that whole
long. Hateful Eight is
What I heard
not
about
very
Django.
good.
Hateful Eight's a good play. It would make
It'd
a
be
good
a great
and it's,
play.
It's better when you watch the Netflix one where it splits it
Yeah.
into 4
It
parts.
makes it go by
Okay.
faster.
Yeah.
I can see where that would be better.
Once Upon
you
a
know,
Time in Hollywood. What did
Once
you think?
Upon a Hollywood is very good. I really like Reservoir Dogs,
Oh yes.
but that's probably it.
You named most of his movies.
Yeah.
The only one you
Yeah,
didn't
but,
name was
like,
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown's not very. I've seen all of them.
Yeah. I
Jackie
haven't
Brown's
seen
not
Jackie
very.
Brown.
It's not very
I
good.
know.
It's a blaxploitation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Pam
He's
Grier.
trying to do that, but
Yeah.
it doesn't really work. I don't think.
I think too he didn't write it, or it's like based off a book or something, right?
I think he wrote the screenplay, but I think you're right. It is based on a
Yeah.
book. And then he also did Natural Born Killers, which
Love
he
that
wrote.
one.
if he would have directed it, it would have been a
It's
better
Ridley
movie.
Scott, right?
Would have been no Oliver Stone.
There you go.
It would have been a way better movie. If he would have directed it, and he himself did not like the movie.
Who?
Tarantino
Tarantino?
did not like the result of that movie because Stone didn't get Tarantino's twisted humor.
I did.
It wasn't funny at all, and
No,
I think it
liked
probably
it. I
would
just
have
like
been
Woody
funny.
Harrelson, and he was great in it.
Woody Harrelson-
Rodney
all
Dangerfield.
the acting was great.
Yeah.
Well, he also did. I know he also wrote, which
Has he ever made? I don't know that he's ever made a bad movie. I think that would be an unfair statement. But I think some of his movies just missed the mark. Maybe. like I know what the mark was supposed to be, but for me, like I think Inglourious Basterds just nails it.
That's a perfect film.
Almost
That's
every
perfect
level.
film.
I actually did not like that movie until I rewatched it again during
Interesting.
during
Interesting.
quarantine.
What is it? Why didn't you like it the first time?
Too long.
Yeah,
Daddy.
and I just didn't care for it. I think I was
Well,
young
that's a
too.
great
I was
answer.
younger, so when I rewatched it, I was like, "Wait, no, I get it. I like it."
So
I think it's really really fun
Cats
movie.
on the table.
that was the first with the silver spoon. That's the
Well, it's
first.
the flowers, man.
That's the first film of his I saw in theaters.
Which
I saw
one?
Inglourious Basterds.
Really?
I saw it in theaters opening day.
Oh wow.
I remember it was like after during ICF and we went.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I wouldn't say disliked about the movie is, I hadn't eaten all day when I went into it.
So
and
it's
we were
like
watching it. It was
3
like
hours?
singing.
Food scenes.
Oh my god, I was dying in the
Start,
theater.
like, bring me that
But-
that whipped cream.
I really liked it when I first watched it. The one of his I only watched partially and I didn't care for, but it was also at like 2 a.m. was Jackie Brown.
I think that really misses the mark.
Yeah, but Kill Bill, I think that was the first film of his I'd ever seen.
Same.
I actually didn't see Kill Bill 2 for a long time.
Oh.
But I think my favorites of his, I don't know, I've always liked his gangster movies like Reservoir Dogs,
That's
Pulp
my favorite,
Fiction.
yeah.
Reservoir Dogs, but that's another one that could have been a play, honestly.
It's very
I mean,
set up like
It's
one.
For sure.
Yes, here's so unlike me. So I saw, like you, I saw Glorious Bastards on opening day. I saw it in the afternoon.
Me too. At like
and
2 in the afternoon.
I went back the next day and took Joni. I just went to
Oh,
go
wow.
see it, thinking, well, she's never gonna
Dan.
want to see that. And I
Did
saw
she
that.
like it?
Oh, she loved it.
Just to let
I
you
said,
know,
I came home. I said, we're going tomorrow. You have to see this movie. It's great.
I didn't take Joni the next day.
Oh, that would have been so awkward.
Yeah, I would have.
But anyway, this has been Quentin Tarantino.
Rowdy Ketchup.
X-ray.
And we've been demonetized.
So what did we do this week?
Dan,
Last week.
Dan,
Yeah?
what'd you do this week?
Is it up to me? This is for the Rowdy Ketchup? I can tell you one thing I did. A couple of things.
Please don't.
Pulling out his book, his journal. He did some poetry.
Okay, fine. Take your scroll out.
I don't
Read
like
from
the
your
way
scroll.
you guys are talking to me. You're being very
Parody,
mean.
you parody.
Joni and I finished Ted Lasso,
So anyways,
and I'm guessing that nobody here has seen one episode.
I want to watch
that
it
is
though.
correct.
What's a TED?
And what's
It's
the
a
lasso?
lasso.
I
It's a
don't-
cowboy movie.
I don't have an Apple
Oh,
TV.
I like
I don't
those.
have the Apple TV, Apple Plus.
I'm
what
going
is
to
it
tell you
called?
something. I really like the series. I thought the third season was. It kind of felt like a comfortable old pair of shoes. Like it was like I feel very relaxed watching this, but at the same time, I also felt like it was probably less.
They're doing a spin-off now too, right? I heard or something.
I don't know. But when I first started watching it, I thought, oh my God, this is like the greatest thing ever.
was fresh.
I love this so much. Right, it was very fresh. It's so feel good. It's funny. It's got some dramatic. It's got a little tear jerky now and then. Like it's very clever. So I started recommending it to my friends who all would watch it and go, yeah, you're right. It's great. Then I started recommending it to younger people, and almost to a T, they're all like, it's okay. And I realized this really is not. This is really for me, or not.
Really?
Not only my generation, but I don't think young. And I say young, really don't know
What are you trying to say, Dan?
where's the debarkation of young, but it's not. There's like it's not like super heavy. It's not super funny. It's not super. There's no action. There's not. It's a very sweet, very
Positive.
very positive.
Do you think maybe that's why? Because
yeah,
we're jaded?
Maybe. Well, how
'Cause
can you
the
be
world
jaded
sucks.
at your age?
I don't know. The
It's
housing
gone through a
market's
lot.
terrible.
It's gone through
we're
a lot.
against the world.
The world sucks.
The housing
Except
market's
for
terrible.
Ted
We can't have
Lasso.
children.
Wait, what was before? Can't have children?
Oh, the housing market's terrible.
Our pets' heads are
We'll never
falling
get
off.
paid more
We're
than
working
the
towards
cost
our
of
death.
living.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know what? You're right.
Inflation.
Very little vacation
I'm going
time.
to take back all
Mental
my Ted
health?
Lasso.
What's there to be happy about, Dan?
So speaking,
So I'll tell you about a documentary I saw, which was really depressing.
Yes, please.
That I think you'll love.
Seen it already.
I'll have to look up the name of it.
it was your home videos, Frank.
But
the historical
Damn.
documents.
Oh my God.
Anyway, enough about Ted Lasso.
That's how I felt about. I'm not gonna get into. That's how I felt about Ozark. I was like, oh, this show's great, fresh.
Ozark was
love it.
great.
And then I only saw the first season. I never.
There's
I
like
never.
4,
You and I
right?
loved it. I
Yes.
remember we were like, this show
Yes,
is
there are
amazing.
4.
Yeah.
Never because to me it's like the first season. It like
It
opens
had no
up,
ending.
It opened up room, but I feel like at the same time I was like, if I stopped here, I'd be okay.
Yeah, I never bothered
Well,
to get
I'll
back
be
into
Like
it.
hugs is
I'll be honest with you. You are okay to stop there. I'm not saying that it's not worth seeing the entire series, but I don't feel like the show ever exceeded the first season. It continued, and it remained engaging and cool, and a little bit of painting into corners. Now, how do you get out? Kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which is how I feel about Barry.
I loved the first season of Barry. I watched the whole
Because the
show.
first season of Barry is funny, and after that, it wasn't funny anymore.
I watched the whole season in one sitting.
It got very
He
not.
called me.
Oh no, it's the first season's great. I've
No
seen
Ho
all
Hank.
3, and I'm gonna watch. We're going to the new.
Yeah, he called me. He's like, you have to watch it. I binge watched the whole entire thing, and I liked the first season. And you're right. It was great. The first season was hilarious, and then it just kind of mixed in with like drama,
it kinda
and
lost-
I'm like, oh, because I love Bill
North,
Hader.
North Hollywood
Yeah,
Mike.
me too.
North
North Hollywood
Mike.
Hank.
But
North Hollywood Hank.
it just it lost its dark
Humor.
sense of
Yeah.
humor and just
I
became
hear it
just
turned, dark.
Oh, it gets dark, and then the third season's not funny at all, except for what's his name?
Because that's it's the season.
Love who's the guy the hit not the hitman, the bad guy. Well, he's the funniest.
Hank.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Such a great
Yeah,
character.
I watched. I think with you, Sam. I watched.
You've not watched any Barry, have you?
No, I haven't.
I watched the first episode of season 2.
Yeah.
Thought it was kind of funny when NoHo Mike was working at like
NoHo Hank.
NoHo. Why do I keep calling him
I
NoHo
don't
Mike?
because
know.
you're thinking
Figure it
about The
out.
Office.
Mike.
Prison Mike.
Prison Mike.
Yeah.
That's why. NoHo.
Dementus.
NoHo.
Dementus.
NoHo Hank. Like was funny when he was working at like a PacSun or something.
Wasn't it like the Lululemons
Yeah,
or
the
whatever?
Lululemon.
Yes.
I thought that was funny, and then I didn't
With his,
continue.
was it had a wig on?
Yeah. But Frank, what were you up to?
Honestly,
being frank.
I don't remember. I don't think I did anything interesting.
Everything just blends in now in
Yeah.
this cabin.
How's work?
Eh.
Work sucks, I know.
Yes.
Really? Your work sucks?
I'm
Yeah.
talking about him. Work's okay. No, it's good. I like it. I'm
He
just
li-
trying
he
to
likes
fit in.
my work,
I'm just
yes.
I'm just trying to fit in.
Oh, you know what? No. Final Fantasy 16 came out.
How is it?
It's great. Also, it's different.
That's good though,
Are you playing on
right?
a Switch or?
Also, what is
No.
That
it?
Switch can't
PlayStation.
handle that.
It's a PlayStation timed exclusive right now, so it's very much taking up my time.
It's a
My
Final
free
Fantasy.
time, not my work time. My free time.
It's a Final
Gotcha.
Fantasy, but it's the 16th one.
Yes.
It's like the never.
You wish to get water thrown on you.
Yes.
I do. I'm like when you're at the Waterworld show
That's why
and
he's
the guy
wearing the
just
white
throws the
t-shirt.
bucket at you. I was told to be a wet t-shirt contest.
Oh.
But yeah, it's great. It's a bit different from past entries because for anyone who's never played a Final Fantasy game, they're
Me.
high fantasy games. They're anthologies, so you can play any of them and not need to play the one before.
Oh,
But usually they're very whimsical. They're
They're always so pretty to look at.
They're very, very pretty to look at. The stories are usually depends on the game. They're usually good. Sometimes they're a little confusing. This one's very dark. And I from what I know they took inspiration from Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
So it's definitely
The
like
Red Wedding.
yeah. They ramped up the violence and the action and the sex and all that stuff. But I think it's still whimsical enough.
That's where I
The
dug
edges.
myself into a corner because I heard these games were good. I was like, but I haven't played the other 12 of them. So I was like, I don't want to catch up and play 12 other games. And then I think Frank or someone told me one time, they're like, it's an anthology series. You don't need to. And I was like, maybe one day I'll get into them.
And
But
16.
there's 16. But no, but then there's like some of them where it's like Final Fantasy, like what, X1, 2, 36, 24.
No, there's X2, which is a direct sequel of 10. But
It's like The Land Before Time.
you don't really need
So
to
it's
play
like
that one.
10B,
2, yeah.
10A,
Yes.
and
So it's a
10B.
sequel to the 10th game, but it, yeah.
Yeah, just to put it out there though, play 6, 7.
I have 6 on my phone.
Okay, great. It's great.
Sure.
It's
It's
the
fun.
best one.
Travis,
Story-wise, it's the best
you
one.
have to play these games, and I will tell you why. Because when HBO turns it into a miniseries, you'll be able to tell us all the things that were in the game
No, he'll need to
that were in the show. No, but see, in the game,
No, he'll need to play it in the middle of the show being made.
Well, after he finishes episode 2, he'll binge the game and then tell us every detail of what was there.
For people that don't know, they're making fun of me because I was playing
The Last of Us. You don't even remember the name.
While we were watching the show, and I was just making some light comparisons. I thought it'd be fun talking points. I was just like, hey, let's talk and
see the difference between this shot and this shot.
I didn't say that.
And then he pulled out a chart.
Mm-hmm. He pulled out visuals.
The chart, the whole PowerPoint thing was a bit much.
The Venn diagram.
I was like, and It's Always Sunny.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it became a bit much.
A tad.
But you were so enthusiastic, and that was nice.
That's what people say about me.
Yeah, you are.
That's what she said.
What else happened?
My niece had her 2nd birthday.
That's cool.
So we went over.
You guys had hot dogs.
And hamburgers. We had a barbecue. That was funny. I got that. Lions, tigers, and bears. Oh, my.
Oh, Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
Nice pull.
I will tell you, though. I'll tell everyone here.
I heard about that movie from old friend.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I was
Have
very
you heard
close
of Citizen Kane?
That was Citizen Kane was the first movie Dan ever saw in theaters.
It was right after it opened.
You waited in line.
You went to the midnight showing.
What were you gonna say?
So it was my niece's birthday, and we got her gift. But we also I recently moved, and it always becomes the like.
Did you get a new bed?
We did. Okay, I have to think of I was gonna say Dan and I, because I was gonna say Dan and I have the same bed, which is true. We have the same model, but we don't share the bed.
Oh, stop covering it up.
Wait,
just tell the truth, Travis.
That's the same joke you made 10,
This was this guy.
15.
Where does the model sleep, though, if not in the bed?
If not you, then
Right.
who?
What's the point of having a model if it's not going to sleep in the same bed with you?
That's funny, but no. So so I was going through a bunch of old stuff storage, and I found, because I still have them, like a bunch of toys.
Rosebud. Oh.
No, a bunch of toys that I.
The sleigh.
He found a sleigh.
No.
Oh, that's sleigh. Okay.
No, that I'm gonna say this. That reminds me. So, sidetrack. We have
That joke
this.
had like 18 layers.
No,
You're already on a sidetrack.
No,
You're
they do
sidetracking a
Because
sidetrack.
sometimes with work we have to do these things where we create watermarks, so that they weren't working. So then entering the garden work. So I said in like a chat, like a text cap, so everyone could see it, and someone started laughing. I was like, "Why is that funny?" I said, "Oh, the watermarks are showing up," and then people thought it was really funny.
I don't get it.
I don't get
It's
it either.
disgusting.
We'll explain it.
I'll explain it. People comment with the explanation of what that means.
Have you heard of golden showers, Dan?
I have.
No, that's not what it is.
heard of them.
Dan, have you ever had Taco Bell?
I have.
What happens when you eat Taco Bell?
Oh, are they like skid marks?
Yeah, it's like another word for skid mark.
And what do you call them?
So I said the watermarks are showing up, and then people. But anyways, I'm gonna stop saying that, and I'm gonna go back to the story. So
You don't want to keep talking about diarrhea?
no.
Okay.
After
Why would
drinking
it
coffee,
wouldn't be watermarks?
venti cold
Some
brew.
people.
It'd be like brown
I don't want to know.
something.
Oh, speaking of poop, this is movie.
Hershey droppings or something. I don't know.
Speaking of poop, something I never heard Sam say ever.
What about poop, Sam?
She says it all the time.
People
Yeah.
order our patties.
No, I don't know where he was going with that.
Sam,
Don't look
please
at
continue.
me. Don't look at me. No, I'm not going
SpongeBob
to talk about
SquarePants.
it.
What?
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, I love that
Sponge
show.
pants,
Continue.
square bob.
No, continue.
I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay. So
It's for your
okay,
own
let me
safety.
get back. So we were at my sister's house.
Into
moving,
the mic, my
Having
friend.
hot dogs
moving.
and hamburgers.
Yeah, and then
and creating watermarks.
oh my! I'm trying to get away from that.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. That's where we were heading.
I was cleaning through storage and I found some boxes. Some of them had like my old toys that I had like growing up. I still had them.
Wait, where was this party?
That was at my sister's house, but I'm saying beforehand. I'm
Okay.
saying before, and I brought them with me. So I was like, hey, like, I don't need these toys anymore. I was like, I like them. So I was like, I thought nothing of it really. I was like, well, sort of. I was like, yeah, let me just give them to my niece. So we went over and I like opened up the thing. I felt like I was in Toy Story 3, the very ending.
Start
I was
crying?
I was like, I'm just gonna give it to her. So I give it to her. She's like, oh, and she started like playing with the toys, and
You're now Andy.
that got emotional very fast. I was like, but yeah, that's my story. End scene.
I hear crickets. Does anybody else hear crickets?
Wow,
That's funny. That's a funny story.
You're so funny, Travis. That's comical.
That's not funny.
No, that was. I get it.
Yeah.
Sure. Like, can you tell us just one or two toys that you? 'Cause
Yeah.
That's what I really want to know. What toys did he keep into his 30s, and now he's emotionally separating from?
One
Not
of
judgmental at all.
them was like this toy truck, but you can like sit on it and move it around. You can open it, put stuff in there. One of them that, and then just a couple. One of them is Abu from Aladdin, like the monkey.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of that, like a stuffed monkey from that. One of them is like a stuffed lamb. Just I don't
Oh,
know.
I love stuffed lamb.
Me too.
I don't like
Delicious.
lamb.
Really?
It smells weird.
Yeah, the cotton gets into your
It's
like
okay.
teeth
Yeah.
too.
It's okay. I make lamb.
Yeah, you're right. If you don't shear them first, that is a mess.
Wait, cheer?
Who are we cheering?
That's been a
Did
rowdy
you, have a,
catch up.
did you have a Game Boy?
I had a Game Boy. I had a Game Boy Color. I had a Game Boy Advance. I had and I think that my brother had an SP, and then after that it went to like Nintendo DS.
Why did you
and
start that question?
I
love,
What?
saw that
love
on your
how
face.
he'll list everything if I ask one simple question.
no, I won't.
You just did.
Yeah, that one time because you asked, did you have a Game Boy? What I'm supposed to say, like, yes, I also
Did you have PlayStations?
I was gonna ask
And
him
which
that.
versions did you have?
Okay, so my
you at
first,
4 now?
my
Or
first,
5?
no, my first console I ever had was I had a NES, then I had the SNES.
Wait, do you remember how
and then
old
I
you
had,
were?
Yeah, and then I had a PC.
You gotta
and
tell
then,
us how old
and
you
then
were.
in the summer of like
And what were you
90,
doing when you
in
got
the
it?
summer of like 98, I got a Nintendo 64, and then I
you
got a
remember-
computer.
do you remember what you
and
were doing
then
that
I
day?
got a PlayStation.
Wait,
and
in
then,
'98, you were like 6 years old.
like 17, Nintendo 64.
Okay.
What was your first game on Nintendo 64?
There was 3 of them. So it was, because the version we got was the Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace edition.
The Lego
So,
version?
no, that wasn't out yet. That was PlayStation 2.
When did that come
And
out?
while he was in the living room
I got that
playing,
for Christmas.
his
It, like-
parents were putting on Texas Chainsaw for him to watch in the
No,
background.
don't talk about my parents. That's where I draw the line.
Continue your
And then
collection.
I had a PlayStation, and then I think.
Oh, we're going
and
to
then,
PlayStation now. Okay.
No, and then I got a GameCube.
What was your
Well, I
first?
broke my-
Luigi's Mansion?
No,
Luigi Mansion?
no, my first game was Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, because I love Sonic. And then after the GameCube.
Wait, is Sonic that character?
The blue
They-
hedgehog?
Yeah, it's a character, yeah. Sonic is a character.
Right? What's he look like?
He's
it
so
looked like.
sassy
It's a,
right now.
it's a blue,
Hedgehog.
Right.
hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Right, right.
They made a movie.
See, I know stuff. Keep going.
All right, Grandpa, get back inside, please.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, what else?
Go sit down and
So
finish
Sonic.
your warm milk. You have to go to bed soon.
Yeah, so and then
Sonic.
after the GameCube, I think I got like a PlayStation 2.
Tomb
but-
Raider.
No, I think the first game I got on PlayStation 2 was Guitar Hero.
It was not on PlayStation. Was it on PlayStation?
It was on
2?
PlayStation 2. Guitar Hero 2 was, and I think 3 was the last one maybe on PS2. But I had a PlayStation 2, and then somewhere at this point I got like an Xbox, and then after that I got a PlayStation 3.
Remember that scene of Forrest Gump where the guy does the
Oh my
bubble,
God,
all the different shrimps? That's what he's doing now.
Wait, can
then
we-
I got a PlayStation 3.
I think we should
and
cut
then I got a
out-
PlayStation 4.
Did you cut out everyone else?
No, we should cut out the Tarantino stuff, and then so introduction, and then just him listing all of the
And
games that he had.
So if you all are listening, they're gonna author and edit this. So this is not authentically of how I told the story, or
And they
of
should do
how
that
I'm
thing where it
talking.
fades
And they're
out.
probably gonna cut this
Overlap.
out.
There's
They're probably
fried
gonna cut this.
shrimp and
The PlayStation 2,
barbecue shrimp.
Guitar Hero 2, Guitar Hero 3.
Legends
no,
of Rock.
But there was no Guitar
Guitar?
Hero 4 because they only made 3. They
No,
didn't
there
do
just
was.
3.
It was World Tour.
And that was on PlayStation 4.
It was on PlayStation 3, but they also had the one for Game Boy.
I
on
wish
Nintendo
we had
DS.
a camera on him because the
I can do it right
expressions
now.
whenever he corrects one of you.
It's too late now.
They're
I'm
priceless.
too self-aware.
No, you just ask him something else and he'll go back into it.
I will not list.
Yeah.
But
What was your first VHS?
Oh,
Yeah, tell us about your VHS tapes.
I don't remember. I remember one of the earliest ones I got was The Lost World Jurassic Park with the lenticular cover on it. I got that one at one point, and
Isn't
then
that the one where they tear a body in half? The two.
yeah, the lawyer.
How old were you?
Well, do some math. It was 1997 when the movie came out.
You were born in
That
'91.
was a year
Yes.
before
You
we
were
got
6.
his Nintendo
Yes.
64.
Burger King foot lettuce. We
So-
don't even. This could be its own
Wait,
episode.
when did you collect your first vinyl?
Oh, I can tell you my first DVD I ever bought.
How did
Don't you mean vinyls?
Sorry, vinyls.
Yeah, where'd you get your vinyls?
When were you like, I'm gonna buy more than one vinyl? I'm gonna buy multiple vinyls.
He's taken off his headset and he's left the room. Ladies and gentlemen, Travis has left the building. And this has been a rowdy catch up. So, what movie did we see?
The Batman.
The movie we watched this week.
Guas.
I will just call it The Batman.
That's what you said, right?
This week, what did we watch?
Vengeance.
We watched Batman.
Travis?
Le Batman.
We watched Vengeance.
Le Batman.
Le Batman film.
Do we have a summary of the story?
We
I
never
have
do.
one.
Travis has one.
This is the only.
Wow.
This is the only summary we'll
the
do.
2022 Batman, directed by Matt Reeves, currently streaming on Netflix.
Probably
And
Max.
no,
Oh, sorry,
HBO
HBO
Max.
Max.
I
I'm so
actually
sorry.
I
Netflix,
watched it
HBO.
on Max. So let's
HBO
let's
Max
rephrase
doesn't
that.
Sorry,
exist.
I don't know why I
Max.
put Netflix.
Oh, we all watched it on Max. What are we talking about?
Yes.
We all snuggled together. That's my new word, by the way.
You're being really snug right now.
I am. I'm very snuggly. And we had s'mores.
Some more what?
Did we
Some
not
more?
have s'mores?
Some more
I
what?
was not there. Sorry.
Oh,
Dan, what did we have
Wait.
more of?
where was I?
He's doing
Why am I
it
asking
there.
you?
Okay.
We had some more what?
Can you? Oh my god.
All right.
It was so intense.
We're gonna be here all night.
well, well, Dan, just to let you know, I don't,
Oh my God, you can't even get the joke out.
I only walk in
That's what
camp.
she said.
I only walk in campgrounds. I don't run because it's past tense. You laughed
Thank you,
a
hey.
little. I think I totally
Tip
messed
your
up
servers,
that joke.
guys. Try the veal. It's very
All
delicious.
right. So, summary. Batman,
The Batman.
Batman ventures into Gotham's
The Batman.
Batman.
The Batman.
Batman, the fuck?
Vengeance ventures into Gotham City's underworld when a sadistic killer leaves behind a trail of cryptic clues. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, he must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued the metropolis. I'm pretty sure that was Dan while watching the entire movie, making those sounds.
Okay, let's go around.
What did you say?
I missed the entire thing. I
Well,
hope
watch
our
it.
listeners caught it though.
Yeah, watch it. It's about 3 hours. You have plenty of time.
It's just
Yeah.
shy of 3. It's like 2:56.
Yeah,
Oh, it's shy.
Just shy of 3.
nothing
Robert,
shy about this.
can
He
we-
is
can
a
we-
little emo and
Can
shy.
we
Robert.
can we just sort of go around and do our pre-thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. I do not want to start. Yeah, I'll start. I'll start.
I'll start.
Start.
So, actually, let me start.
That's what I
'Cause
said. I think you should start.
might-
You did not say that at all.
No, Dan, I think you should start.
Dan, I think you should start.
Okay,
should
but
start?
I want to say that I think I should start.
I think
All
that's
right.
a good idea, Dan.
It feels fresh.
But you know what? Just for old time tradition, you should start.
Okay. I'm going to start, and you keep interrupting. Ready? And so, my first thought. Damn it, Travis.
You have thoughts?
I would, before I give you my. Well, I will. This is part of my pre thoughts.
It's such a mess.
This is going to be very. Okay. So, I'd like to frame this by discussing comic book movies
Yes.
in general.
Of course.
So I have seen many,
And have time to go. We're not gonna have time to go.
and I've enjoyed some of them, many of them. I really liked some of the Marvel movies. I thoroughly enjoyed the last two, which I consider to be the last two, Infinity Wars and Endgame, and everything after that I don't consider to be real. So, but as far as DC goes, I really liked Batman Begins, the first Christian Bale movie. I thought it was really good. I thought the two after that were less than the first one. In fact, the third one was less than the second one. But regardless, I really enjoyed Wonder Woman. The first one, I thought it was really fun. I don't think I got through the second one. I think Justice League is borderline embarrassing.
Yes.
It was so bad.
For everyone
Frank's
involved.
crying over
I
here.
tried to,
No,
but
I
tried to be fair to it because I realized, I didn't see all the movies leading up to it, so maybe there's some really cool stuff that I don't get, but I
No.
just thought it was crap.
No.
And then I watched Aquaman, but I found it sort of by the numbers and not that great.
It's a Saturday morning cartoon.
So there's my sort of overview of the comic book world. Kind of like I'm not really deeply invested in it.
Same.
Yeah.
So my pre-thought with this was our good friend Brian said, it's good. It's a really good movie. And my son also said, it's good. Yeah, definitely. So I went into it with two people I do trust their opinion, going, okay, I mean, if they're telling me it's good, then I'm assuming it's good. So I watched it. And we'll go on from there.
So all of this went on in your head while you were hitting the play button. Right before you hit the play button, all this backstory went on in your head.
I think it's important for me anyway to frame the comic book world because I'm not like deeply into it, but there are some I really do like.
You keep saying deep.
I know.
All right.
That's
Wait,
very
I
offensive,
have
Frank.
a question. So with Brian and I'm leaving. So
okay.
did that heighten your expectations?
Right.
Okay.
Well, I think what it did was it made me go, okay, I trust that they would not
So
tell
I would
me
like
was,
it too.
They would not tell me it's good. They would
But-
qualify it. In other words, they would say,
Yeah.
I really liked it, but I don't think it's your kind of movie.
Yeah,
they just
they
said, no, I liked it. And so I went, okay.
I'll like it too.
I'm game.
He's what?
Avengers Endgame.
Endgame.
So-
Love Endgame.
So
I'm Iron Man. Oh, I tried to snap my fingers.
No,
and
you're not. You're
change
Dan.
that. Okay. I've talked way too much. Go.
you're pulling
Yeah,
at me.
Travis.
So just to let you know, some people call them pre-thoughts. I just call them ecstasy.
What the hell? Can you just
I don't know what that
Will there
means, but it
ever
sounds
be
really funny.
an episode where you just go into your freaking pre-thoughts?
No. Yes. Okay. So after that little,
Ecstasy?
I realize I went on too long. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
that's
on.
why I'm making up
fine.
the time. No.
It's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're running out of time.
I will say I thought my pre-thoughts were, when is this movie going to come out? Because
Oh, yeah.
it was in production for a long time because of things that happened in the world. It
Also-
was getting delayed.
happened?
And also different Batmans.
Well,
Batman.
No, well, I'm
It was
saying 'cause
originally
this film was supposed to come out, what, in 2020?
2020, yeah.
2020?
But that was so pre
COVID, BC, before COVID.
before the change in actors and the retooling of the whole script. It was supposed to be a 2020 release,
Yeah.
and then it was moved up to
Was
2021.
it not supposed to be Pattinson?
No, it was
No,
yeah, it
it
was
was
actually
supposed
supposed
to
to be Ben.
and
Yeah.
Ben was supposed to also direct it, from
Yes.
my
Yes.
understanding.
Oh,
And
I
then from
remember.
there,
I
they
remember.
hired Matt to still direct Ben's Batman in the movie, and then Ben backed out, and that's when Matt saw the
Twilight.
opportunity to be like, hey,
Twilight.
I could just redo this whole thing and
Right.
like do it more like how I want to do it. So
But-
that's when he basically went back to the drawing board and rewrote
So
or
But
wrote an
did-
entirely new script.
Didn't
director
this-
directed.
Didn't this start like pre-production like in 2017? This has been a
20,
while.
Kinda, yeah.
2018,
Originally,
2017. Yeah, that's what I said. My pre-thoughts were like, when is this gonna come out? And then I remember we saw the trailer in like 2019, no 2020.
2020, yeah.
2020, the trailer came out, and I think like other movies. Like I remember Top Gun, the trailer came out 3 or 4 years before it came out. This movie was finally coming out. It was one of those where I was like, I'm not gonna believe it's out until I see the picture on the screen. I was like, even if I get my tickets in advance, something's gonna happen. It's not gonna come out.
Yeah, they had filmed some of it before COVID hit, so they used what little they had filmed to make a teaser trailer. But
I thought it was a very good teaser
a
trailer.
very, very
and that
good
was
trailer.
my like, okay, let me keep my hype down. So my pre-thoughts, I guess, coming in were, I really want to see this movie. I'm excited, but I don't know if it'll ever come out or when it will come out. I don't know, maybe in 3 years, 2 years. And then I watched the movie.
So you thought all of that before you saw it?
Yes. As I
when
was
you
going
bought
it-
the ticket.
I didn't. Yes.
He bought the ticket in 2018.
Yes.
Well, my pre-thoughts aren't as deep as theirs.
Stop.
How deep is your love?
When I heard it was Robert Pattinson, I wasn't sold on it because I don't know how I feel about him because of Twilight.
Oh, of course.
And then I saw the trailer. I liked how moody it looked, and it was different than any other Batman I've seen. So that made me kind of curious as to what I was gonna see. So that was it.
Yeah, that's fair. You know, when it comes to like strange casting choices, I feel like I'm more open to them just because my thought process is if I didn't see something in this actor, but this director did, you know, I'm gonna give him a little bit of like leeway and be open to it because clearly they saw something if they chose the you know, it doesn't always work out, but more often than not, I feel like the out of left field choices end up paying off.
You want to see the risk more than like, oh, I expected that.
Yeah.
You know, you want to have that whole mystery and the fun.
Wait, before you go into your pre-thoughts, what are other actors that are like left field that you thought worked
Michael
out well?
Keaton. Oh, sorry.
Did I ask?
I thought you were saying in the
Did she
series.
ask you?
She was actually looking at Frank when she asked the question, which had her back of her head to you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna take my headset off
Good.
and leave now.
This is gonna be a little weird because I know most people don't like this choice, but I actually thought Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor was pretty good. It's one of those things where like I would have to like just think back on, you know, previous and then give you examples. I can't think of any off the top of my head other than that, but yes.
But I do think, going back, I think Michael Keaton was a wild casting job for the
he had
original
only done,
Batman. That was like, what? Like Beetlejuice and, you know.
Beetlejuice.
I don't even think
Mr.
Beetlejuice was
Mom?
out.
No.
Mr. Mom was the big
No,
thing that people...
Beetlejuice I think came out in what, like 87, 86?
No.
Or did it come
maybe.
out? I think it was out
87,
already.
88 maybe.
I think it was
But-
88.
But
Maybe.
Yes, I remember when they were making the movie thinking, oh, Jack Nicholson, the Joker, that's a home run. And
He's a what?
A home run.
Oh,
And then, what did you think I said?
nothing.
And
Moving.
then Michael Keaton as Batman. I was like, what?
Which one was he? I mean, Batman,
Michael
obviously,
Keaton.
but like, who were the villains?
But Jack Nicholson was
Joker.
For the first one, it was Joker, and then for the sequel, it was Danny DeVito and Michelle Pfeiffer as
Oh, I got
Penguin.
Tommy
and
Lee Jones and Jack Nicholson confused. I was
Oh.
like, he's Two-Faced. But yeah,
Two-Face.
right.
He is Two-Faced, yes.
But that wasn't Michael
Two
Keaton.
different
I'm
faces.
just kidding. Huh?
Who
No,
was?
that wasn't Michael.
That was
Val
George
Kilmer.
Clooney?
Val
Oh.
one time
Kilmer,
Val
yeah.
Kilmer.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And then one time George Clooney showed up.
Yeah.
With the bat nipples.
Well, moving on.
All right.
Moving on.
So before we start Frank's pre-thoughts, we're going to go on a commercial break.
Did you finish your pre-thoughts?
I didn't even start.
Yeah, he hasn't started. That's why I said before he starts, we're going to go on a
What
commercial
the
break.
hell are we doing?
Because get ready.
So my pre-thoughts were, I actually wanted to see Ben continue in the role because I didn't think he had gotten enough of a chance to like show what he had. But as we learned more about it, I was kind of excited to see where this new take would go. The villain choice I thought was really, really primed for, you know, interesting paths for the, you know, for the story. Overall, I was mostly open to, you know, just give me whatever you're going to give me. I'm a very big Batman fan. For anybody that doesn't know, I have several
What does
Batman
your tattoo
tattoos
say?
on me.
Yeah.
Mind your business. I have very... I'm open to all kinds of interpretations. Like, I like the campy Batman. I like serious Batman, fantastical, gothic. It's all good for me. So, I mean, I was more... interested in the quality of whatever they were gonna deliver than the tone that they were gonna give. Though I do like dark, moody Batman more. So, those are my pre-thoughts.
I think it's good that you enjoy Batman, all the different kinds of Batman, because I don't think there's any comic book hero that's been rebooted more than Batman. Maybe
No.
Superman.
Spider-Man.
And not with as wildly varying tones either.
Yeah, because Superman gets rebooted a lot, but it's still Superman, generally speaking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, with Batman, is there any
Spider-Man?
with that kind of range, though? Like, we're talking about a TV series that was really campy.
I thought you meant just
then
rebooting.
You're talking about a series with, like, Michael Keaton, and so, which was an action, but still
Gothic. It was
kind
more...
of, but still kind of not campy. That's not the right word, but
Cartoony.
cartoony. And then we took a way left turn with Christian Bale and went to a much more serious version, but still fun. I mean, still action packed.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think we keep getting darker to where, again, I know he's called the Dark Knight for a reason. It's a dark character.
Yes.
So, I mean, I think this movie, and we'll talk more about it, seems to approach that way more than
it definitely goes
some of the
into his detective roots more than like past films have done.
Absolutely.
Which,
what
we'll
I
talk
like.
about.
So, where are we going? Where are we going from here?
Well, I guess we can go into... Oh, no, we started talking about it a little bit.
The story itself?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Sam. Sure, whatever.
Well, I mean, should we maybe tie... No, we talked about it a lot. I was going to say how this film is this, like, aesthetically kind of different from, like, past.
I like how he thinks out loud.
Should we maybe
'Cause you're all
talk
looking.
Should we maybe, like, I don't know.
All right, figure it out. Dan, what are we doing?
Talk about the...
You know what? I think it's going to be most interesting to have Dan do it just because Dan isn't so into these movies.
But I don't think his perspective of this movie is a good perspective.
But that's
Well,
okay.
I mean,
We don't know that.
let's do this. I think that's a great idea. Let me start by talking about the things that I really liked about this movie.
Okay.
The things that really worked for me. I thought that the cinematography, the art direction, the music, the mood was really spectacular. Like right away. You just watch the movie going, oh, wow, this is really... Like, sometimes you start watching a movie going, this doesn't look like it's going to be... Like, it doesn't look good. Like, and right away, you're kind
Get
of
that
going...
gut feeling.
Yeah, you're like, this is not... It's like... this is like a way left turn. What was Seth Meyers... Not Seth Meyers. Seth...
1 Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not Seth Meyers,
That's
though.
Seth
MacFarlane.
MacFarlane.
Seth MacFarlane. So that movie, I remember sitting in the theaters, and the opening credits were literally credits, and you're watching like a wagon train or whatever, and I'm going, this isn't funny. Why is he opening the opening credits? They're not funny. Whereas like in Blazing Saddles, the opening credits are hilarious, or at least you get the sense that you're doing a comedy. So I'm saying that because in this movie, like right away, you're going, oh yeah, this... Matt Reeves knows this is a guy, he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And I really like the idea of just the Batman, the title card, and then going right into the story. Yeah.
And then, Dan, going with that, like you said, because you were talking about themes, opening music, I know this song was very present in, like, the trailers for it. And usually, sometimes I think it's kind of cheesy when you have, like, a song that's, like, with the lyrics are so close of what's going on screen. But I actually really thought it was perfect in the opening where, like, we see Batman and he sees the murder happen, and then you get, like, that Nirvana song that starts right away, like, Something's in the Way.
Sorry, it's so emo.
I really...
Yeah, but that's not the first thing. The first thing is Ave Maria, which is totally a lift from The Godfather, which I was going to say is a criticism, actually. Only criticism because it really took me out of, like, that's The Godfather, man. That's when they're doing the baptism and all the different people are getting killed, getting knocked off. I don't know that you can use that song in any other movie without thinking about...
I've never seen The Godfather.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, for me, I immediately go to The Godfather and say, well, that was such a brilliant concept in that movie. I don't think... For me.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't pick up on it. But again, I think I have, like, horse blinders when it comes to Batman. So, like, nothing else exists.
No, Dan,
That's fair.
I get it.
That's totally fair. That's very fair.
I feel like sometimes, because right until you said it, I was like, oh my God, that is The Godfather.
Exactly.
Yeah, but
I
no.
mean, I think Joni heard me. I was in the other room saying, "Oh my God, this song's from The Godfather." but having said that,
but remember,
it
Batman.
was really well used, though. I mean, it is such a great piece of music to use for this type of mood.
It's
It
haunting.
set it really
Yeah.
well. That whole opening sequence where he's watching across the street into the window he's running for mayor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's being a
That
detective.
whole
No, that's not who's watching.
Yeah, that's
the
Oh,
Riddler.
yeah, sorry,
watching.
That's the Riddler.
I
Yeah.
am totally.
No, that's okay.
I'm in the
It's
wrong
okay.
movie.
That's okay. But
No,
I mean,
because-
that was really cool.
Yeah, Batman does do some of that
Yeah.
stalking stuff too. That's why. That's
he was
why.
being a perv.
Yeah. Oh, that one scene. Yeah. Anyway,
a peeping Wayne.
Anyway,
Wayne.
that's as
Yeah.
far as I want to go at this point. Somebody else.
I
needs
have,
to
I
jump
have
in.
to agree
Tom.
with Travis though. I normally and going into this movie, I was wondering how they would use that song because it was so present that it almost kind of like they had to use it in the movie, and I was nervous about whether it would feel like whether it would take me out of the movie or not, because I think this is actually the first time that a Batman movie has used like a popular song like that. Like obviously the Keaton movies had that Prince music in that first movie, but that was made specifically
And it
for
was in a
that
parade.
movie.
It was in a parade.
Yeah. This was the first time that they had used popular music that wasn't
Well,
diegetic.
And it
Okay.
also too, I think that ties so well into the theme of the film itself. And it's a song where, and I'm not gonna say what happens at the end, where when you see it at the beginning of the film when they play it, and then when they play it at the end of the film, has two entirely different meanings
Wait for this one.
for this film. When they play the
yeah.
Nirvana song, I never would have guessed that. Like, I think it's really well because like I said, it's like normally you have films in the '90s and it's like all the small things are playing while they're riding up and their skateboard.
Small
It's like but no,
things.
like Frank's saying, and I'm talking. It's like this. I don't know. I just love.
Are you talking
how
about
well
something
this ties in
That
with
made
it.
me think I want to see an edit where the ending song is all the small things because they always use it at the end of like a 90s movie to be like
and then just like riding on the
The
motorcycle.
skateboard going into the town picks up a newspaper. He sees the guy. You're late for school.
Batman becomes like a paper boy. Anyway,
Anyway.
He gets his batarangs and he throws them on the newspapers.
all right, well
We got a 3-hour movie to talk
we got a
about.
3-hour
Well, we don't
But
have
we
to
don't-
go scene by scene.
No, no,
I
no.
just
I don't-
hold on. I have
Second by second.
I just looked on IMDb. The cinematographer is the same guy that did Dune,
yes.
so that explains a
Oh,
lot.
I didn't see Dune.
Dune.
We'll watch Dune, another 3-hour movie.
Oh, yeah.
No, I've heard good things about it. I mean, the original was not very good, so.
Lynch, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna get into it,
was
but it was
David
Lynch.
and I love David Lynch, but
He
well,
does
I
not love himself.
I love some David
He
Lynch
does
for
not love
sure.
himself.
I've
Yeah.
never,
Right,
I've
but
never
not,
seen
not
a.
Dune. That
I've-
was he did not do a good job.
I've never
on
seen
it.
a David Lynch film.
Well, if you want to see
Are you
one
being
David
serious?
Lynch film,
Yeah.
honestly, watch Elephant Man.
I've
That
nev-
movie is brilliant.
I've never seen
Absolutely
Twin Peaks.
brilliant.
Huh.
Yeah, and Frank, I think you would. I think you would really like it.
I think I
Because you like
I think
Batman.
I think
you
I
like
will.
Batman, so
Yeah,
now you're going to move
honestly,
to a
I
different.
think you really like it.
You're going to move
It's
from a bat.
really,
oh,
really
sorry.
good.
Okay, just drop him
Anyway,
out.
enough about David
I
Lynch.
will.
but
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you go first.
I want to say I love Riddler's intro.
Okay.
Just how like it was what's the guy's name? The mayor guy.
Oh,
Anyway,
Mayor Butthead.
butthead mayor.
Yeah.
When he was like just so self-absorbed in how Rial was not losing yet, and then
Yeah.
when he walked away and you see Riddler there,
Yeah.
that's my favorite scene in the whole entire
yeah.
movie. That's it. That's all I want to
It
say.
I
almost-
agree. I actually rolled back and watched that again.
I freaked
because
out.
my first take was, wait, did I miss something? And then I just rolled back like 2 minutes and watched that section again. And went, oh man, that is really cool.
It almost
Yeah.
kind of reminded me of the way that
Unexpected, but
Yes,
really
totally.
fun.
the way the Riddler look almost reminded me of that movie, The Collector.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, The Collector. I'm like, oh my god, what am I watching? I was like, it's gonna have traps for people.
Which he
He
did.
did.
Oh, he did. Oh my
Yeah.
god, he totally did.
Wow, you got very high streaky there.
I did. I
You
don't
got
know
so
what's going
excited.
on.
Are you excited?
A little bit.
Okay.
And
He peed himself.
I thought so. Going into this, Frank was very excited to cover this movie, and I was like, "Here we are. This is going to be the excitement that Dan says I expressed in Chopping Mall and Resident Evil." I was like, "That's the excitement we're going to see Frank have," but yet I'm the one with the squeaky
Yeah.
I
voice
know.
now.
He's yeah. Anyway, continuing.
All right. Well, jumping off from that first scene, that brings us to the cinematography, of course. Like right off the bat, the cinematography is really top notch, as it should be. But I think this is one of the few times, I guess, one of the few times in a comic book movie, I feel, that the cinematography has been above the level of expectation, like way above. Like almost every single shot in this movie is composed to perfection.
Mm-hmm.
Like
the Gotham
Batman?
when you first get introduced to Gotham and like all the slow-mos and
that wide.
yeah, like it explains a lot about Gotham without having someone explain what Gotham is.
Yes.
It's chaotic.
Yeah. Chaotic, but like still enticing in a way.
Yeah.
Like Dan, I don't know if you knew, or Sam, did you know there were portions of the Batman that were filmed on a stage, like the whole scene with him with Batman and when he's talking with Catwoman? No, Catwoman. Yeah, when they're on the rooftop and it's like the golden hour. Did you know that was shot on a stage?
I did not.
Yeah, it was shot on the volume.
That was shot on that they use in the Mandalorian.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah, it was shot and so
What is it called?
The volume.
Volume.
that was shot on
Where
a.
is it?
There's
Disney,
different
no?
stage.
Oh.
No, they have different stages.
They
There's
have
one
a
in
couple
London.
stages, yeah.
There's a
I was
big
gonna say,
one
is
in
it
London.
I
Yeah.
There's
feel
a
like
big
London has all the
one.
big stages.
I think they're actually opening one up in Silmar, where I live. They have this huge project where they're opening up a bunch of studios there.
Well, Silmar has a few. Like they filmed
Silmar
Firefly out there.
They have Delfino Studios where they film
Yeah.
parts of Titanic, and right now it's been the stage for RuPaul's Drag Race for a little while. But I'll just stop right here because I
want to go into it and Dan's gone.
yeah. Wait,
I have.
yeah.
I have so, is there actual screens? So how does it not look so pixelated?
So they're really highly
Let's talk about it. But we can explain it. We'll explain it twice.
the pixels are highly
Dense?
condensed and
It uses
Fucking Ryan works with it.
It uses Unreal Engine, so it's basically like a video game. So the reason why it's so different is you could basically render out your effects in real time.
Right.
And what's cool too is when you move the camera, it follows. And I
So
want
it's like a 3D effect in a way.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna go in it because there's a prime example of when it's used at its best and when it's used at its worst.
In
Don't
this
get
movie?
too long.
No, in general, the technology.
Yeah, they're opening.
Ant-Man?
I think they're
Ant-Man
actually
3,
going to have 2 volumes in Silmar.
They're gonna have a volume at Valley College.
Why?
You told me about that.
So with those scenes, like I said, they weren't actually filmed on location. They were filmed using the volume, which is a virtual stage. So it's shot indoors, and it's different because you know how typically, you have film special effects, they shoot on a blue screen or green screen? Well, with this one, with the volume, the thing about it is it uses the Unreal Engine, which is what video games use. So all your environments are already preloaded. So they can see all the things that are going to be CG, they can see it in real time. And what's cool too is if you have the camera and you're moving the camera, it changes and follows with it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Sam
so
just showed me a
it's
picture.
very in demand because it's also too, it helps a lot of the actors because now they have more of a reference of where they are, what they're looking at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
That's
since you
very
can
cool.
capture it all
For those
in
of you
camera.
listening,
Yeah.
Sam is showing us pictures.
Yeah, if you can
Of the volume. It's
w-
cool.
That's my
capturing it all
vacation.
in camera, it looks
Yeah, it's
better.
very cool.
Yeah.
On screen, it looks a little more tangible than if it was just, CGI'd in.
Yeah. And
As obviously you could tell because you couldn't tell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I was going to say, it's interesting now, and like in this movie, where maybe I've just been exposed to this so much that I'm unaware, but I'm not thinking CGI. I'm not thinking whatever special effects they are putting these people into that's not even there, that they're just standing on some bare stage and they build everything around them. It doesn't feel that way.
And I think that's the best kind of special effects is the special effects you don't even notice.
The ones we made along the way.
Yeah.
The ones we what?
The ones we made along the way.
Yeah. Like,
when was this invented?
this was first done with The Mandalorian.
So
like
20
2019, 2018, and it's become super popular. Some other, so you have like the top. I want to say, in my opinion, you have, I think, where this technology is used best, which is, of course, The Mandalorian, and then you have the Batman. But then you kind of have stuff where you're like, ugh, where I think you just kind of become too reliant. is like the most recent Ant-Man 3, which, you know, we've all heard does not have the best special effects.
Yeah.
So was Thor Love and Thunder, was also shot using this technology, which, you know, it's saying, you know, it doesn't, just because you use it doesn't guarantee it's going to look great. Did you see Ant-Man 3? Mm-hmm. Did you see? Oh,
don't
you didn't
remember.
see it.
I saw Ant-Man
1 and 2?
the Wasp.
Oh,
I didn't even see the first Ant-Man.
yeah. Frank, did you
I
see
think it's
Ant-Man
the second
3?
one, right? Where they
I
end
did,
up
yes.
all and flaky at the end, and he's
Yeah,
trapped
that's the
in.
second one.
That's the one I saw.
So that's not that
Oh.
great, right? Frank, the effects
all
weren't,
right.
weren't that great.
That's
It
I
looked
just
like
don't
Spy
like
Kids.
Ant-Man's and bad guys are too ordinary. It's like Superman
the
fighting
weakest,
gangsters
yeah.
and bank robbers. It's
Yeah.
like, so what? Who cares? You got this really cool guy, and this is what he's doing? Come
yeah.
on, man.
Ant-Man's powers are pretty cool, and then the
Super cool.
He's rich.
Yeah.
Who?
I mean,
Batman, that's his
Batman,
powers.
Yeah.
I heard Ant-Man.
Well, he's not a, but he's not technically a superhero, right?
No.
Because Batman,
Batman?
because he doesn't
No.
have superpowers. Isn't that the,
Well, that's
isn't
not
that
what
the
makes a
argument
hero.
everybody always has?
That's
that-
not what makes a hero.
No, he's a comic book hero, but isn't a superhero someone who has a superpower?
But then that could be said about Iron Man too, because he doesn't have superpowers.
I don't think he is a superhero,
I think he's an alcoholic in the comics.
which is why we like him so much. Which is why we relate to him.
I
mean-
don't know. It's one of those discussions where you could just go back and forth on it. Like, I think I personally don't fall into the camp that believes you have to have superpowers to be a superhero, but I understand the reasoning behind it and why, like, some people are a little hesitant to do that. I think a lot of the feats that Batman is capable of just elevate him past that point of being a normal human, or at least being portrayed as like just an average everyday person who's, you know, a hero, saved a cat out of a tree or whatever. You know, I think.
No, he's
I think
totally elevated from
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Green Hornet.
Which one?
Seth
I'm
Rogen.
just saying the character.
yeah.
Just the character, the Green Hornet.
Yeah,
another.
I feel like
He's
that
a
would be
guy
less-
who's fighting crime and has.
But he has his own gimmick too.
Right.
Like,
Well, they all have a gimmick.
Yeah.
You got to have a gimmick, as they say in the musical Gypsy. Thank you very much.
dated references.
Sam's face.
But
But yeah, the volume and the cinematography in this movie.
yeah, the
great.
cinematography's spot on.
Speaking of the volume,
Yes.
I could have used a little more from the actors. I mean, Batman has always talked like this, but in
That-
this movie, everybody talked like this.
I-
There was a scene. I'm sorry.
No, go
Commissioner
ahead.
Gordon and Batman. All those scenes, they're talking to each
yeah.
other like this. What are you talking about?
Like
I
deep
don't know what we're gonna
alto
do."
voice.
It's like, and then all of a sudden the action starts and it's blasting me out of the den. I kept having to turn it up. What are they saying?
I think
That's-
Not a cover up. Oh,
I think it's okay. Pin that. I think when Batman has his first voiceover,
Yeah.
it leads into this film noir aspect, and I feel like not just the dialogue but the way they talk, like leans into that, and sometimes it takes me out a little bit, especially between Gordon and Batman. I just feel like their dialogue is a little off, and I do agree with you. They just
But if
lower their voice like so much.
They're gonna throw the book at you for this
yeah,
one.
because if you watch like
You gotta punch me.
if you watch the original
Okay.
film noir movies from like the 1930s and 40s, like the actual real noir, where it started, they don't do that.
No, they
Right.
talk like this. See?
Yeah.
I mean, you can hear them.
See?
I'm just trying to say that you can hear them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
You
give
know?
a damn.
This is like, but I mean, Batman has always talked like that. It's just everybody else kind of
Disguised his voice.
spoke up,
Yeah.
and this one, everybody was doing that. And
Yeah.
again, volume.
What?
Yeah.
Black Girl.
I don't. Sorry,
Maybe watching a movie theater, I wouldn't have had that
Yeah,
experience
I think
because
that's-
I'm looking.
I
I have
think
big
so.
speakers around me.
Yeah.
I've got my sound bar, and I'm like, could you please speak up a little bit?
Yeah.
Did you watch? Also, I'm sorry. I
should be.
keep having to go. You said you watched. You said you watched a stream. You didn't watch a disc, so you were streaming it.
He's gonna go into some technical shit right now.
Travis, I want to make something very clear to you. Every movie I've watched since this podcast has started has been streaming.
Has been
Well, not. I was
streamed.
speaking
I
for
don't
the audience.
own one
I was
disc
speaking for
of
the
any of
audience.
these movies.
Yes, you do.
He's been buying
You
all
own
the
the
steel
DVD.
books.
You own the DVD of Christmas Vacation. I
You're
saw
right,
it on your
I
shelf.
do.
So you're a
That's
liar. What
right.
you are is you're a liar, and I don't like liars. Put your
but
headset
now
down.
you're gonna give me
Put your headset down and walk out of this cabin. Please.
Okay, fine.
Please stay.
Now you're gonna give me all the reasons why this did not work.
I'm not. It's just me being curious.
You, Mr. Steelbook. Here we go.
Just
Mr.
me.
4K.
Well, no, actually, I will say I actually don't own this movie. But
Didn't you?
I'm
You
sorry,
wanted to buy
I
it.
own, but I own the soundtrack on vinyl.
So do I.
Weren't we talking about buying it, but then we didn't?
But
Yeah, there was something where we were
I think
going.
this is
yeah.
the price was just a little too much.
But all kidding aside, you're asking me this question, why?
Well, I'm just wondering because there's always the whole because, and like I said, it's not. I'm not gonna pull like a Game of Thrones and say, oh, the reason you can't see it is because like you have a cheap TV, which was because remember Game of Thrones. Is there's always a fact?
He's trying to say you have a cheap TV.
No. Well, always the factor is there's always like you said because you told Frank, you said, oh well, like maybe if I watch it in theaters, because there's
Sure.
always the difference where it's like, well, if you're streaming, because I've heard from like a few different people that have streamed it, where it's like the stream versus the actual like disc.
Talking to the mic.
Oh, the stream versus the actual disc. Some people are like reporting differences where it's like,
Did you stream this movie?
How
How did you watch it for this podcast?
I was streaming it.
Okay, so you saw the same thing I did.
But I've
on
already
Max.
I've seen it before, but I also watch with Did you watch with subtitles?
No.
Travis
I'm a
watches
weirdo.
everything
I'm
with
a weirdo.
subtitles.
I watch my
No,
movies with
and you know what?
subtitles.
I would never do that. But now with this movie, that actually wouldn't be a bad thing. If you're, I don't know. I think I have a
Yeah.
good system in there. I
So
think I have a good
for-
soundbar.
I think you do. The thing about streaming movies is that the compression
rate.
that they use on their audio tracks is different from a disc. So the disc quality will always be higher, and it'll be leveled differently. It should still be comparable, but that's not always the case.
That's what I'm saying.
Were
is
you
that-
trying to say that,
That's what I
Travis?
was trying to say.
God.
I know for sure Disney. This isn't a Disney movie, but Disney movies, the streaming quality of their audio versus their disc is quite different. For sure, the same thing happened with Harley Quinn recently. The streaming audio was very different from the actual audio.
And-
a lot louder on disc.
And Dan, so you didn't watch Game of Thrones?
I did not.
Let's not get into the Game
I'm
of
just
Thrones
gonna say one thing. I'm just gonna say the reason I brought
Batman.
up that. Oh, the reason I brought that
the
up.
Batman, Matt Reeves.
Dan,
Yes.
I can do this in less than 30 seconds.
That's what she said.
The reason I brought up the Game of
And
Thrones
does.
was because in the final season there was an episode where it was a battle that took place at night, and you literally couldn't see anything, and then people were complaining, so that like the directors and writers of the show just kept blaming people's TVs at home, and they're like, oh, the reason you can't see this because you have a cheap TV, or your TV's not set up right. It's like, no, like you should be able to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the reason I brought it
Though
up.
to be fair, I did not have a problem seeing stuff, but then
But
again,
then again, the
I don't
average-
care how good
but
it
you
looks.
shouldn't-
I don't really care about
Yeah,
Game of Thrones.
but the
so.
thing is, you shouldn't have to buy like the best,
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
see.
Of course not. But
Yeah, no.
So the Batman.
But that does make sense, though, going back to the Batman, because I would have to turn the volume up to hear the dialogue, and then when an action
Yeah.
scene would come up, it
Too
would
loud.
blast me out,
Yeah.
and I have to take it way back down again.
It was like those like DVD.
Yeah.
I wish I could have evened it out somehow.
Was it the THX?
Yeah, turn it up.
Anyway,
We've
that was a little
gone
side note.
on
It was just
so
something
many
I noticed.
tangents.
No,
I
but
know.
speaking of the sound though, you said you liked the soundtrack of this film, like the music, like the score. What did you
I
think?
did. I did. I liked it a lot.
I
I thought it really fit very well into the mood of the movie.
Who did it?
Michael
Ludwig?
Giacchino.
Oh, okay.
I just think those like the orchestral, just those notes. It's
Oh, yeah.
so well. Just how it keeps building and building and
Absolutely.
building.
Yeah, and going back to your Ave Maria moment, that it's very faint, but you can hear that being like sewn into the Riddler's main theme.
It's like a motif.
Yeah, he's got a little motif going on. I actually think pretty much every Batman movie has had a pretty stellar score. Even the Clooney and Kilmer ones, I think
I don't
they're not
remember.
great, but they're still,
Fun.
they're fun, they're bombastic, they're memorable.
Oh,
Yeah,
You
I
could-
just feel like I'm sorry.
Batman '89, iconic,
perfect.
iconic.
I just felt like when the Christian Bale reboot happened.
Yeah.
I just felt like I thought the series just took a huge step in the right direction.
Well,
I was not that into the first round with
No.
Michael Keaton and all
oh,
those. I
okay.
thought they were like, I found them very disappointing.
They were a
all of them
stepping stone.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Whereas the Christian Bale one, okay, I'm on board. I saw all three of those in the theater. Like I say, the first one I loved.
I couldn't
Enough to-
couldn't finish the first one.
Really?
Oh,
I
love
don't
that.
like
one.
Katie
loved
Holmes.
it so much.
I feel like a lot of people are not a lot of people, but I feel like the first one you could be very divided on. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that really love it as a more pure comic book, offering from Nolan, and then the other two are just a little too crime thriller for people. And then there's people that like you do not like it and love the other two way more.
I actually didn't see.
Wow.
I
That's
didn't.
it. I agree with.
Yeah.
I'm that person who loved the first one.
Yeah, you
and
are
just
that person,
the other
Dan.
two. I just want to know how Christian Bale climbed out of that hole in the third one and then somehow showed up back in Gotham City. Would he have a credit card shoved in his pocket
Yeah, the
somewhere
back
up his
card.
ass?
Yes, it's the back.
That was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yes, I
But,
put it there.
Again, sorry.
I
got
didn't
off
see
case.
Batman Begins. Actually, I didn't see it until maybe about a month before The Dark Knight came out. I just remember it coming out in theaters. I just didn't see it. I didn't know anything about it. And then, but I will say, like looking back, how you said, Dan, a completely different approach is I feel like with Batman Begins, I kind of liked it. And the reason it was so different, like even with the way the Batmobile looks, is I feel like this was the first time where they made a Batman film where its intention wasn't to sell toys.
Wait, this one?
No,
Or Nolan?
Nolan.
Nolan's Batman Begins. It was like,
But
hey,
didn't you want the tumbler?
that came out a little later. But I'm saying you didn't get. What I'm saying is you didn't get all the action figures and little toys.
Yes,
the
you
Burger
did.
King ties.
I got the Bane action figure at Target.
That was the Dark. That was the Dark
I think
Knight
what
Rises.
he means is that they didn't make choices in the movie specifically to
Market
Sell the
it.
toys.
market more toys.
You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
you know, Frank.
I don't know why I said
The
it
thing
like
I
that.
love about
Toys.
the thing I love about a relationship is
He
you're a
explains
very
things
good
better.
translator for me. It's like, all right, hold on, I got this machine that's gonna translate. Let me read off the paper.
Now let me just say it in one sentence.
Yeah, but that's good. We work
I'm
well
better
together.
than him.
Why don't we start with you just saying it before
Yeah.
Travis says
So
it?
you don't want me to talk anymore?
That's been our whole
Is that what
point.
you're saying? So the Batman.
So the Batman.
The Batman.
So I mean, I feel like we can all agree that the cinematography is pretty top notch.
it's-
Like there's not much else we can say. I love how kinetic it feels too. Like even right down to the Batmobile chase. You know, the
Yes.
placement of the camera,
Yes.
the way.
Even the motorcycle.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one was great.
Yeah, because even like you said, there's when you see like the Batmobile just come up behind the Penguin, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, I got him,
yeah,
I got him,
yeah,
and you just see coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that. I like the shot where after he rear ends Penguin and the car goes flying, and then you've got that shot from the side of the just
Did your house
Such good
explode?
framing.
I mean, did your side of the cabin explode when the Batmobile first when the engines
Turned on.
came on? Did your house explode?
Yeah, I think I blew out my soundbar.
Is that why you had to get a new front
Yeah,
door?
exactly.
Your new back door.
What did you think of that scene?
I thought it was great.
Great introduction.
Absolutely.
Grease
What are you
lightning.
talking about?
The first when the Batmobile first turns on and you
I
see
thought-
like
I
the
thought it
two.
was great. But again, I'm not kidding. I had to like grab the volume on my
Really?
TV. Oh my god!
Was this
It
another?
was like
So for listeners or new listeners that don't know, sometimes Dan watches these movies at like 6 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Dan, was this one where you was at 6 a.m. like, oh my god, I'm gonna wake up Joni and the
I
neighbors?
actually watched this movie Monday night, last night, at I think I started around 7:30.
Oh, so
Oh,
it's gonna
nice.
be all
God, what
night
time
for
did you-
you.
8.
Oh, at night. Sorry, I
At
heard
night.
7:30
Yeah,
in the morning.
No, I did an evening thing.
Nice.
Yeah, it was actually the only time I had to watch the movie just because of the shows and stuff I'm doing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, a good time to watch it.
Did you know
Yeah.
it was 3 hours going into it?
I did. 2 hours and 56 minutes.
You know the exact. You were waiting. You were like, all right, almost done.
I don't remember who tipped me off first, whether it was Frank or Brian, or it wasn't my son last night. It was maybe you or Brian.
I
Who
think
said,
we might have joked
well,
about it.
it's like 3 hours long.
I think that was me.
So,
You were like 3
Yeah.
hours.
yeah.
So we just
How
said,
do you
long.
feel
It's a
about?
long movie.
How do you
I-
feel about those 3 hours? Though?
I felt the length.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's what she said.
It
All right, Sam. Dan's trying to talk here.
I wish that's what she said.
That's tragic. All right, Dan. So we're gonna talk about your problems another day.
So cool.
So excited.
All right, so we'll talk about your problems another day, Dan. That's for love, Dan.
All right,
that's for
not a problem.
That's for Loveline, a separate podcast by Dr. Drew.
I did feel it. I did feel 3 hours.
Would you, if you had the choice to watch it again, would you?
I'm not going to say no. I think I'd like to put some time in there before I see it again. I'm not anxious to watch it again like now or next week or soon.
What if
but all right, so we're watching the director's cut.
Look, I'm not saying I wouldn't watch it again.
You're just saying it's a bit of a commitment.
It's lengthy. It
need-
felt
And
lengthy
girthy.
to me.
What if I were to tell you, Dan?
Now she
girthy.
did say that.
No, was it Dan? That was a little girthy.
That
Why did you have to? He said it.
The joke happened. Frank said it's girthy. I said she did say that, and then
I'm
you had to add
translating.
girthy.
I'm doing the
For
reverse
who?
for Frank.
For who?
For Frank.
We
I'm
all know-
translating.
I think Frank knows what girth is.
Oh, yes, I do.
All right, everyone. See you next. See you
right,
next
so-
I'm
week.
Sam.
No, Dan. Sorry. What if you were like, you know what? What if you found out this movie was playing like next week or in a couple weeks? Like, hey, Dan, it's playing in a theater, and would you go see it?
I would be way more interested in sitting in a theater
The theater.
than sitting in my den again. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think if I'm going to watch it again, I'd like to be in a theater with the proper sound system and a big screen and
A big silver screen.
I'm serious. I think if that was offered up, I think I would.
And that's-
I would too, because I saw it twice in theaters, and both times there was audience disturbances that kind of pulled me out of the movie
What
a
happened?
little bit.
What happened?
Okay, so the first time we saw it in Dolby opening night, and there was two sets of people in front of us that kept on arguing to the point that I actually missed the intro to the Batmobile the first time.
Ooh.
When I finally was focused enough to watch the movie again, it was almost the end of the chase, and I was like, oh, I missed most of this. That's cool. So the second time we watched it, I thought going in, oh, finally, I'm going to get to see the whole movie all the way through, enjoy it. Right before the movie starts, a group of 20 kids start filing in, sit
Field
right
trip.
behind us, whole line. The chaperones are not paying attention. The kids get into a shouting match with somebody that's in front of us. Movie starts. Kicking, throwing popcorn, talking, heckling the movie. I'm like, God fucking damn it. So I still have not seen the movie in theaters, like all the way through without being distracted by anything.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes,
and
of course.
I'm actually not kidding. If you can see it again, try and see it on a weekday
Yeah.
at like 11 o'clock in the morning, where it's you and maybe 3 or 4 other people who are like you. Meaning like...
Mexicans, yes.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Or
But you know what I
Frank.
mean? That's when I go see movies. I can't even remember the last time I saw a movie where I had anybody disturbing me, because I do not go to movies in the evenings, weekends, only go in the morning, late mornings, whatever the first feature is, and only during the week. And I have great... Now, what I miss on that is the full crowd and the cheering and the laughter and all that, which I do love. But I'll take that in trade of what you were just talking about, which drives me out of my frickin' mind.
I was just thinking, Dan, the only film that I've seen with you in theaters, we went on like a Tuesday at 11 in the morning, and then we ate Taco Bell after.
That's right. And what did we see? Christian
Little
Bale.
Mermaid.
Christian, but I don't. It was the movie. It was the film with the Native Americans.
Right. Christian Bale. It was called...
The
it was
Hostiles?
Yes,
Hostiles.
Hostile. Which you and I were like... and I think we were the only two in there. But your brother saw it like the same day or the day after. Like, oh, I really liked it.
Yeah. He's like, I loved... No, and then, but Frank, just to...
But yes, that's when I like to see movies.
Or Frank, next time just go see the movie in IMAX, and, you'll be good.
Yeah.
Except for the time when we saw The Dark Knight Rises in IMAX after it had been out for like 6 months. and you
Oh,
went to see it for
Jesus.
your birthday.
Yes.
And there was those obnoxious people sitting in the corner where like someone had to get up to go to the restroom, so they went up and passed them. They were like, "You have
Yeah.
to. You're making me move or put my feet up so I can get past." It's like, relax.
I know. Oh God, we've had some. Anyway,
How was
yeah.
your theatrical experience, Sam? Watching
I
this movie?
honestly don't. I
You don't remember? She doesn't
I don't
remember?
remember the first time I've seen it. I don't know if it was like a private screening or whatever, but I remember the second time I saw it in IMAX
Good.
at City Walk, and
Good.
I liked it. And then the third time was right now.
That's
Yeah.
9 hours of your life.
9.
9 hours.
I saw it twice.
9 hours.
That's the
9?
entire Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah.
No.
No,
I
it's
bet
more.
those 3 are less than 9 hours.
Extended.
I will be honest. I would rather watch this movie 3 times than rewatch the extended Lord. It's not that I don't like them. It's just that it's just.
I, as a huge Lord of the Rings fan and extended, I will say you only need
Yeah,
to
no.
watch. The only one that I will straight up defend is
Return of the King.
Fellowship.
Oh.
Fellowship extended, I think, really
Okay, why are we
benefits.
talking about Lord of the Rings?
Two and
First of
three.
all, the first one is great.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And
yeah.
should have won the best picture. 2 and 3, I don't care about.
Well, watch one extended. It's even better.
1 is great, I think.
But
Okay.
no,
we're-
I saw.
Sam is packing up and leaving. Let's
I
pull
saw
it back.
it-
Pull it back.
Shit.
Batman. The Batman.
Yeah, I think I saw this. I saw this twice in theaters as well.
Oh, the Batman?
That's great.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, I won't
so
tell my story.
going back to the Batmobile, and I want to make mention of this because we are a horror podcast. There's a lot of horror influences in this movie.
Totally.
Absolutely.
You know, there's obviously Riddler has very heavy Zodiac vibes.
Fincher, like,
Seven. Yeah, this movie is heavily drenched in Fincher iconography, but the Batmobile was specifically inspired in this movie by Christine.
I was
Did
gonna
you
say, yeah,
get any of that?
Christine.
No, I didn't. That's cool.
Yeah, that
I
first
did not get that.
that opening like introduction to it, the director wanted to invoke this feeling of it being alive and having a personality and being intimidating.
That's why they spent so much time on it.
Yeah. I think it was very effective too, in terms of like giving you that vibe. But like, overall, this movie has that like the sprinkling of like gothic horror to it, which doesn't come across like
In your
as
face.
too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes the Burton movies, especially, like veer into that a lot, and it kind of I think sometimes it distracts me.
I thought it interesting you say that because I was really that opening kill, right? The opening scene where the Riddler takes down the mayor, whatever.
Horror movie opening kill.
It felt so like the way it was shot, and then the whole stabbing sequence. It just felt like that felt very slasher,
Yeah.
without seeing any gore at all. And it made me think, wouldn't it be cool if Batman like had to go after Ghostface?
Well, in this one, he basically went after Jigsaw. So
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
I went to play a game.
I
And
re-
they had like the trap, like with the like, oh, you got like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
one?
that's
the
that scene with where he has the bomb strapped
Oh,
around
yeah.
his neck.
When he drives the car through the like.
Yeah.
That-
the Memorial.
Yeah.
That was cool, and like he wouldn't give up the information
Yeah,
because it would basically
Either
just
way, he's
destroy.
screw-
Either
yeah,
way,
screwed.
somebody's gonna die either
Yeah.
way. So he just
Then you
that
also-
was really cool.
Then you also had the horror element, like the pun with like the thumb drive.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
Thumb drive.
I mean, that wasn't funny. That's
That's
morbid.
tragic. People lose thumbs every day.
But yeah, like so you got your serial killer and the Riddler, but then you got what's it called?
Your crime.
Where am I going with this?
No, I'm saying you
I
have your
don't know.
crime.
Yeah, I don't
drama.
know either.
Yeah, kind of have like a crime with like Falcone
Yeah.
and Catwoman, that whole storyline.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about Catwoman's mask. I don't think it was really. I kind of knew who it was.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
because you're watching the movie.
no, but that's a crap mask.
I
Like
have
it
a-
was I mean, you saw everything
I
except
have
her
a
eyes.
theory. I feel like the way each person has their costume, it kind of describes their like stance on social class.
Yeah.
Because like with Batman, everything's all made for him. He's rich, whatever. Catwoman and Riddler, he's like they're both lower class. So everything
Well,
they most
Riddler for sure. That
Riddler
was,
Yeah,
was,
so
Riddler was
most-
straight out
that
of
came
Reddit.
out of his closet.
right. So most of the things were like thrifted or like handmade. So with
But-
her,
yeah.
it's the
Hers
mask.
was like a stocking. She could have cut
Hers
it.
was a
just
beanie.
Cut it a little
Like
better.
a- what is that called?
Don't have it
A bu-
gigantically revealing your nose, chin, cheeks, and
but
mouth.
also with Batman, like half of his face was like there.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
cannot forget that jawline.
let's face
No.
it, Sam. Putting a pair of glasses on doesn't disguise you from Superman to Clark Kent.
Exactly.
That is one of the most ridiculous of all
Yeah, so I feel like
superhero
But I
disguises.
think it's
Catwoman-
surprisingly effective if you think about it. If you go, if
I
you,
have
glasses or the
thought about it
beanie?
my
have
entire
you,
life.
have you thought about the fact that there's over 4 billion people in the world and that there's quite a few people that look exactly alike?
doppelgangers. Yeah.
The idea that you could get away with looking like somebody else was
I-
actually like.
I
I mean,
get-
it's overly simple to the point of sounding ridiculous, but I think if you think too much about it, you start to like rationalize why it doesn't make sense. But just on its face, like,
I agree. I think there's a campy element to it,
Of course.
which makes it work.
Yeah.
Where you kind of accept it. And I agree with your other statement about how many people look the same. But we're talking about Lois Lane and Jimmy and
Oh,
Chief.
yeah, yeah.
They see him every day.
I think
You
that's
can't tell me throwing those glasses on.
Hey,
I have no
hey,
idea who that
but
is.
Dan, no, it can't. Dan, it can't be him because if he takes his glasses off, he can't see.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Mystery Men, very underrated. Everyone should watch it.
Oh, that's a great movie.
Yeah, if it came out today, made millions. Would have made millions.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
fun.
So,
All right, moving
Batman.
on.
so. Yeah, the penguin. And what were you saying about the costumes?
Yeah, like Catwoman and
Social class.
they're fucking poor. So
Oh Jesus.
Wow.
I mean, like with Riddler, he had to like. I get it. He has to package tape his head because of hair. But I mean, you know,
Yeah.
Because of hair?
like hair follicles
Leaving
falling.
evidence and stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
DNA.
Where you were gonna say something
Plus,
else.
it was
No, I was not.
Steven
Oh.
Spielberg's dad.
no, it's not.
So we had to.
Jesus.
Oh no, I will say. That's what I said.
Oh, John Beasley passed away.
Oh, wow.
Who's John Beasley?
I have no idea.
He was in.
I feel so bad, though.
No, he was in a couple horror movies we've seen. He was in like The Purge Anarchy. He was the old guy in it.
Oh,
Sinister,
I need to see a picture.
Sinister 2.
Anything that I've seen.
I need to see a picture.
Yeah, he was in. He was.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's like a big character actor.
Yeah, we're losing the plot on this.
I'm
on this.
so sorry,
Let's
Frank.
continue.
To
What were
be-
you gonna say?
to-
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say when that scene with when after the bombardment of the memorial service,
Oh yeah.
and then Batman got knocked out and then woke up at the police station,
Yeah.
and then that mob scene.
Oh yeah.
Halloween ends, or Halloween. Which one was it? Halloween kills.
Evil dies tonight.
Yeah.
Evil dies tonight.
Should have taken note from that because that mob scene was really good.
Oh yeah.
This is how you do a mob scene.
Exactly.
Agreed.
That's it.
That's all I got to say about that.
Agreed. You know what movie I think does a really good gives really good mob is
Beauty and the Beast.
yes,
you know, saying
actually.
kill the beast. And
Yes,
they're like,
Oh.
I
monsters.
agree.
Shrek?
Yes, that's exactly where I was going with this movie.
Was it really?
no,
You were going with Shrek, right?
Shrek
That's
doesn't
also-
have a
yes,
mob
you
You
and-
scene.
also-
and, you, and
Going
what,
with-
you and what army?
Can you actually say it? What were you talking about?
Joker.
Mm.
The
Yeah,
the
you're
very
right. You're right.
Oh, the
Right.
very end.
Yeah.
yeah.
When he's in the car and they take
Yeah.
him
Oh, when
away.
he was like hanging out.
But going back to mobs, like I really like the way that this movie rationalizes henchmen, and it especially now it seems kind of like scary in a realistic way how you could just put your crazy ideas out there and
run with it.
run with it and have other people go, yeah,
You're right.
I'm down. You know what? You have a point.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you
Especially-
want me? I've got a rifle ready to go.
Yeah,
Oh my
especially
gosh,
at the
that
end.
group-
At
that-
the
yeah,
end.
Yeah,
that
that
group
group
chat?
chat.
With the Reddit, with like the
Yeah.
or 4chan or something.
4chan. That's still a thing.
I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway.
But yes, Dan, crazy people exist.
Yes, they do.
I'm looking
working
at one.
I'm working with 3 of them right now.
Who's the third?
Well, minus Sam, so
Oh,
I guess
thank you.
One of them.
Guess 2.5
Man,
if you count Travis twice.
so the Batman.
So the Batman.
You know that scene with Paul Dano and Robert Pattinson in the jail cell?
No.
Oh,
No. I went
Yes.
into Arnold. I'm starting to sound like
I
Arnold.
felt like Dano.
Can we talk
Completely.
about Dano, actually?
I think
Yes.
he completely drowned out Pattinson in that scene.
Well, I could hear him.
Yeah.
Did you mean acting wise?
Acting wise,
Oh,
I
yeah.
felt like he just like ran circles around him.
talking so loud.
Yeah.
Keep it down here.
It's like
But I thought Paul Dano did a really good job as Riddler.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like
Yeah.
it?
I didn't mind it. It was hard for me to separate him from Steven
Would you-
Spielberg's dad.
the
Would you
Fablemans.
rather-
The Fableman.
Did you
Honestly, I
watch-
kept going, oh, that's Steven Spielberg's nebbish dad. And now he's the Riddler. This is weird.
Would you rather have him be Jim Carrey?
Oh, no. No. I did not like Jim
Edward
Carrey. so
Nygma?
much.
Enigma?
To me, that was the TV series Batman.
You know who else didn't like Jim Carrey?
Jim Carrey?
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee
I
hated
can
it.
totally see that.
Yeah, I think what was it that he said when? So I think they were at dinner at a restaurant, not together, but Jim Carrey went up to him, going, "Hey, we're about to be in that Batman movie together," and I think Tommy Lee said something to the effect of like, "You're the reason, like you're everything that's wrong with acting right now," or
Oh my
something like that.
God.
Yeah, he went really savagely in on him. The only reason why he did that movie was because he
Payday?
was he was kind of like emotionally like.
A wreck? What?
Going through a
No.
divorce.
He needed
No,
to
no,
go
no.
Wait,
through
who?
this.
He was
Tommy
like,
Lee
Owed
Jones?
somebody a
Yeah,
lot of
Tommy-
money? Why?
It was for like a niece or a family
Okay.
like a young family
favor.
member. Yeah, it was more of like a one for them, one for me.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
quote Dan here, Michael Caine never saw.
Michael Caine.
He never saw Jaws: The Revenge, but he said, "I never saw the movie, but I really like the house it got made."
I remember Mel Gibson talked about why he did Pocahontas because his kids were little. And he said,
He did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Who was he?
He was the male lead in Pocahontas. He was the voice
John
of,
Smith?
of John Smith.
In the
Wait, he was?
animated.
Or Joseph Smith, whatever
John
his name
Smith.
is.
Yeah.
John Smith.
I haven't seen it since I was a
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, it's not.
Same.
It's not good.
Just beyond
But-
the riverbed.
But River Bend.
Oh.
Not River Bend.
I haven't seen
Clearly.
it in how long?
Where's your head at, man? But anyway,
It's up your-
He did it for that reason because kids were little and they loved
would he
Disney
say
movies. So
that?
he's like, yeah,
To get him to
I'll
laugh.
do it.
Oh wait. I got the quote. Okay, so this from Tommy Lee Jones to Jim Carrey. I hate you.
Oh.
I really don't like you. And Jim Carrey said, "What's the problem?" He said, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Oh my God.
My friend doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's it doesn't look like a good blend. Just looking at it, like Jim
Yeah.
Carrey's energy versus Tommy Lee
it
Jones'
worked
energy.
well.
And I'm not gonna like say one's better than the other. We're just talking about two entirely different approaches to
Zany. Cartoons,
to
Acting.
Not even acting, but
In
just,
life,
just,
like
just
personalities.
Was that the George
lifestyle.
Clooney one or?
No, that was
No,
the Val Kilmer one.
one.
I will say I'm glad we're out of that era.
Oh,
like as
for
much as
sure.
I really enjoy
The
campy Batman, I'm really glad that we're going back to like the roots of the maybe not like first few stories, but that darker approach to Batman.
But from my childhood, those movies really were not campy Batman.
No.
Campy Batman, that's Adam West.
Yes.
Dan,
That's like almost sitcom Batman.
Dan,
Oh,
let's be
Jesus.
honest here. You were not a
Which
kid.
as a kid, I loved it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
loved it.
I mean that series is that's where some of these iconic moments or iconic aspects of Batman come from.
I mean,
you know?
think about, and you may not even know this, but think about what that series did. It was actually 2 parts per week. You had one on Tuesday.
I didn't
with
know
a-
that.
With a cliffhanger, and then the second half was on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And it would always be Batman and Robin would be like in peril. Will Batman escape from here? Will Robin do this? Find out tomorrow. Same bat time.
Why is that?
Same
I
bat
always thought it was
station.
Why
next
is it
to
like
week.
get
that?
people to watch the next
'Cause you
night.
keep
They
watching
split it
every
into
day.
2
Yeah, but why
nights.
would they split it in 2?
So you
I'm
watched
sure
twice.
advertising and
Yeah,
just
you watched
keeping
twice.
him on.
Well, clearly, if you split it in 2, you watch it twice.
Well,
but
that's what I
still
was
No,
thinking.
don't
you're not watching
understand.
it twice. You're watching it's like a cliffhanger. Like it's like a serial
Right.
thing. You're going to the next
Yeah, was that the only TV show that was doing that?
ever. It's the only TV show that's ever done it.
Yeah, I want to know why.
Well, because you get like the ad time, you get all the people
Yeah.
watching it.
And talking about
Talking
it. and
about
all
it.
So
the-
they got to work like double time. Or unless they filmed it like
They
as
filmed it
once
back
and
to
then
back and
You're
split
split
it.
making
it.
an hour show basically
Yeah.
and splitting it in half.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah,
But it
like,
also, two things. It drew celebrities in as the bad guys.
Well,
And then it also drew celebrities. I don't know if you ever know anything about it, but they always had a sequence
Where they're walking.
where they'd be climbing up a wall, and then a door would open. And there's Sammy Davis Jr. There's Dean
Gotcha.
Martin. They would have these huge celebrities go, "Hey, it's Batman," and they'd have a little inner dialogue. It was very campy.
Frank,
And-
who's that Pokemon?
As a kid, so I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. I mean, this took over our lives. I mean, Batman was everything.
Did you have a lunchbox?
And I didn't even think of it as funny as a kid. I thought this was the coolest thing ever. When I got older, I realized, oh, this is just super silly and funny. And, the pow, bang.
And in my generation, we had Power Rangers.
Yeah, I would say
Yeah. Where,
pretty
as
similar,
kids,
although I think
as
Batman was better, honestly.
Well, I'm
but-
just saying, as kids, you're like, oh, this is so cool. And then you get a little older, you're like, I still kind of like it, but I can
Oh, no.
acknowledge it's a little cheesy.
Actually, no. When I watch, when I'll run into a Batman now, I actually still appreciate it and think it's actually really funny.
Well, I remember.
I mean, this is really clever stuff versus Power Rangers. You look at it and go, this is crap.
well,
man.
anyways,
It was
Hey, I was
economical.
on it, okay?
I remember.
I'm allowed to
no,
call it
there
crap.
was the one. There was the one episode though. Like, even as a kid, myself, I was like, "Come on!" It was Batman, and I think it was like Robin and Batman, and they were on like a buoy.
Oh, the
like,
shark?
in the water, and the shark. No, and Missile was coming towards them, and then it just suddenly they get away, and then I think Robin's like, "Oh, it was the shark. The shark." The shark committed it. The shark killed itself to protect us, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That happens. But the show was responsible for some really important parts of Batman mythology. Batgirl originates from the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So does Mr. Freeze, his name. He used to be
What?
a
I didn't know
character named, what was his name?
What was
Iceman.
Mr. Freeze's actual name?
No, it was Mr. Zero.
Iceman.
Yeah. But
Oh.
Catwoman's costume and Poison Ivy was originally developed as a character for the show, but it got canceled before she could appear on it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cesar Romero too.
I also think it's interesting that the even in the original TV series, the sexual tension between Batman and Catwoman is very
Delicious.
very
Wait, what?
present.
Yeah.
Very present. And he was always kind of really lured by Catwoman on the TV
Yeah.
show. That was the one bad guy or bad whatever that he could kind of was weakened by. And in the movie, I was watching the movie going, just knock it out, dude. Let's just get this done.
I mean, that's
You know
also
you want it. You
that's
know you want Catwoman. Let's do
also
it.
with like Nolan's Catwoman
Yeah, but you know what? There
That
was
was Halle Berry, right?
No,
No,
it
it
was
was,
Anne Hathaway.
and
the
Hathaway.
Hathaways.
There
who
was
who was Halle
Hathaway.
Berry
The
played
Hayden.
Catwoman, I
she
swear.
did,
Well,
but
see-
she was in a solo movie.
Oh, okay.
We don't talk
I
about that
really
movie.
like Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I
Same.
don't think I buy her chemistry with Christian Bale.
Yeah,
There's something about
that
them that
ending-
just
It was
doesn't.
Christian Bale. You're
Yeah.
right.
that ending wasn't where they went to wherever and they saw Alfred.
Yes.
Wait, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Caine.
Yeah,
It just seemed a little shoehorned. And
Yeah.
their personal chemistry
doesn't
was.
match.
I think that they matched more as like, hey, buddy.
Right, professionals.
Yes.
Yeah,
Hey, colleague. How are you today?
I don't think there would be anybody that could match Bale. I feel like Bale was so serious that like I
Yeah,
can't
like
see
almost
anybody
like
with him.
asexual as a,
Yeah.
as a,
I was going to
as a
say,
character.
serious, asexual, and Anne Hathaway, not really sexy.
What?
What?
In what?
He be
Brokeback
hating.
Mountain.
He be hating on the Hathaways.
No, I like her, but
No, I still got to say the sexiest Catwoman has to be Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh, absolutely.
She was.
It was a complete
she
180.
oozes sexuality. I mean, it's just like she wears it like a cheap suit, baby.
Okay.
White
That's
on
literally
rice?
what-
What is the right term? White
don't-
on rice? No, that means it's like on you.
Where's
Yeah.
it like a glove?
Frank.
She wears,
Yes.
Sam?
she wears it like a mink glove.
You know, they had to vacuum the suit
I don't know
onto
what
her.
that means.
I don't either.
They had to suck
I-
the air out of that suit, Michelle Pfeiffer's suit, to get it to be so skin tight.
and she wore it well.
Can I make it? Can I make a suggestion
Yes.
that we title this episode "Everything Else and the Batman"?
Yes.
That's the new name for this episode. Everything else
I
and the
like
Batman.
though how
Parentheses and the Batman.
the Batman has
Featuring-
spawned such great conversation
Oh,
because
yeah, no,
there's
I love
so
it.
much lore and so much Hollywood
Yeah.
around this character and
Well,
around these.
I'm not complaining.
I was thinking about it today before we, before coming, that this character was introduced in 1939.
Fudge.
So we're close to 90 years of Batman already. So
so Michael Keaton can play the part.
So yeah, he's one of the few characters I think that can be reinterpreted and going back
It's
to this
timeless.
discussion that we had a while back about redoing Shakespeare. You can redo Batman a million times to get a million different interpretations. There's just so much ground to pull from with that character.
I feel like though they've done it a lot in just the last
Recently, yes.
7-8 years.
Yeah.
The Boston Globe, one of the reviews I read, actually talked about that it's like they liked the movie, but it was like, man, we're just a lot of rebooting going on with this character in a very short period of time.
Yeah, same thing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, don't even get me started on Spider-Man.
Don't get
Dan,
started.
I'll take Batman
any
day over Spider-Man.
And I know you probably know nothing about this, Dan. I know,
great. Then let's
well, I'm
talk
saying,
about
I know
it.
you're not even following the DC animated films where they come up with a few. Well, like I said, and I agree with Frank.
mean
It's
Lego?
No, I'm saying where I agree
Will
with
Arnett?
Well, I'm saying I agree with Frank how you said you could take this character. They've been trying a lot of cool, interesting stuff. They even had a Batman where he was kind of going against Jack the Ripper. They had that. They had Batman Ninja where it was an anime.
Yeah,
They're trying.
Well, the Jack the Ripper one is based off a graphic novel called Gotham by Gaslight. Where
Yeah.
it reinterprets Batman as a character in Victorian England.
Oh, wow.
It gets put up against Jack the Ripper in those times. It's actually a very good story.
It's good,
Wow.
and I agree because it works. Because Batman just fits that thing where it's we're not. This goes beyond saying we take characters that we can just keep rebooting. It's or series or Shakespeare. It's you just have. I mean, so many times you have a common complaint I hear about and I'm not even saying I think it's the greatest movie ever, is Avatar. How people were Avatar sucks, and why? Because it's Pocahontas and because it's all these other movies. It's well, if you take at its root almost any movie you've ever seen, it's based off of a familiar story that we've already seen before. And like Dan was saying, it's okay, well, yeah, so what makes these movies different and what makes them work? It's you take a familiar story and you just give us a whole new approach. You say, how have we never seen it before?
Yeah.
No story that we're ever going to see is going to be completely original.
That's true.
Ever.
And I think that's a strength that DC has over Marvel, and that for decades now they've done this thing called Elseworlds, where they'll take their big characters and put them in new situations to do one-shot stories. There's a Batman story where he gets bit by a vampire and he goes on a murderous rampage and kills all his villains. There's a Superman Red Sun where Superman crash lands in Soviet
Russia.
that's
the
the one we
Soviet
saw.
Union instead of Kansas, and he becomes he. I don't
In
want to get
Soviet
too into
Russia.
it.
I want them
Superman.
to make that movie.
They did make an animated adaptation of it, and I heard it's
They
very
need
good.
to make a Superman movie where I'm interested in Superman. I find him to be an extraordinarily uninteresting character. And I'm sorry,
done
that's
wrong,
not
yeah.
fair. Well, tell me when you thought it was done right. And I'm not saying that as a challenge. I mean, honestly, because I find him really boring.
I agree with you.
And I find Captain America equally boring.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on.
They're too they're too forthright. They're too I don't have any
feel-
flaws. I don't know.
I don't know.
That's
I
why
feel like the
Iron Man is
Captain-
way more interesting in
Captain
my
America
opinion.
movies are good.
No. I think the
they're-
movies are good.
yeah.
I'm talking about the character
Oh, okay,
itself.
okay.
No, I'm not.
Ivan,
yes, I
if you're
do like the
listening to
movies.
this, please don't hate that statement. Sam
Who?
said she likes Captain America. No, one of our listeners
I'm
loves
talking
Captain
about
America.
the
Why?
actual character.
Ivan?
I find
He doesn't like
that
Captain America.
loves
not
Captain America.
interesting.
I think you actually might enjoy Man of Steel if
Okay.
you haven't seen it.
I have not.
It's
Great soundtrack.
a lot of people. A lot of hardcore fans. No, I can't say that. I guess it's more divisive because there's those fans that love Superman as a character who's very, as you say, upright, the big Boy Scout. And then there's those who want a little more edge and gray area to him. And I think he gets more of that gray area. He's still overall that superhero. I want to be good. But there are a lot of flaws in his character in Man of Steel on purpose that I think make that movie, for those of us that want that, more dimensionality in the character, you'll get that there. Obviously, that arc didn't go over well long term.
Right.
But as an introduction to a more pragmatic Superman. I think it's good. I also think Smallville was actually pretty good in its first few seasons.
I've heard that, yes.
That's what got me into Superman as a character, because before then I did not like Superman as a character. I thought the same thing as you did. I thought he was like too boring to be interesting.
Yeah, and
I also found that the Christopher Reeves movies, which came out when I was, I think, in college. I was in college or high school. I just thought they were silly.
you don't like just if you run around the world, you can travel back.
The best thing in those movies for me was Gene Hackman as not Egghead. What was his?
Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. I thought that was the best thing about
I've never seen
movies.
those movies.
Well, I mean, I don't know that you really need to.
It's
Honestly,
weird.
I mean, they were hugely successful. But
I grew up watching a lot of Batman for some reason. I think my mom, she really liked Superman, which I didn't find out till later, because when Man of Steel was coming out, she was excited to see. She's like, oh, I really want to. She's like, oh, they should make a new Superman movie. I'm like, funny you say that, because look at this trailer. But I don't know. I always grew up with Batman. I think like Frank, my kind of introduction a little bit to Superman was Smallville. I saw the first episode and I really liked it. I'm like, it is cool. And then I just never saw the rest of the show. But the Batman.
oh yeah, what movie are we talking about? So we have character adaptations as a possible.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Baby.
Colin Farrell's Penguin, I thought was really fun.
Oh yeah.
You know that was Colin Farrell, right, Dan?
I did not, but did afterwards.
Yeah.
Would you want to see more of his character?
Well, you see,
You see.
They're coming out with a show. He's getting his own show on HBO,
On the
on
Max.
Max.
Yeah.
Really?
yeah.
It
It's
takes
actually-
place after.
I think Matt Reeves is producing it. I don't think he did.
No,
He
he's
write
not
I
it?
direct-
think he's not directing.
No.
I think he probably helped come up with the story, but it takes place after this movie, and it's supposed to chronicle the rise of his rise in the underworld. And if
Well,
all
that's
goes
cool.
well, it's supposed to lead into the sequel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but they have a trailer for it out already. It looks
What?
pretty interesting.
Oh, I thought that was fake.
No,
it's real.
Ooh, I need to look
Yeah,
at it.
they actually I think they shut down filming because of the strike, but they're well into production, and I'm very interested to see how that goes, because
I still think DeVito is the best Penguin, but that's just me.
I like him.
I think he's entertaining.
The one
Yeah.
part though that I did really like though,
I mean-
with Colin Farrell, which I didn't think they were gonna do in the movie, but I thought was funny. I think it was right after the part where they find out, where they give him the clue, is like, because Batman thinks it's the penguin. It's like, oh, it's not me. That's not a bird or whatever.
Right, it's the rat with
Yeah,
wings.
the rat with wings, and then it shows Colin Farrell, and he kind of waddles. He does the waddle.
Because he was
See,
tied
this
up.
movie's not that dark. It's got humor.
I don't know.
You gotta really look for it, but it's there.
Like I said, I saw it.
You gotta really get it. There's a lot of layers to find that humor.
There's
18.
There's
There's 18 layers.
It
No
is
layers.
not.
We got
it's
there.
not obvious.
Dan,
It's
wouldn't
kind of dour, yes.
Dan, you wouldn't know because you go to empty theaters, but both times I saw it, it got a good audience reaction.
The waddle?
The waddle.
waddle?
No, I thought it was funny.
You know what didn't get a lot of reaction is the thumb drive joke. I thought it was clever.
I think the second time I saw it, it got a reaction, but the first time I watched it, Ghost Town.
I'm sorry. I hate when audiences don't get little.
They're dumb.
They're
Well,
stupid.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
I like Burgess
But you're not.
Meredith's Penguin from the TV series. That was really funny.
Do you like Danny
So
DeVito?
you like Danny DeVito?
Where Pee Wee
yeah,
Herman?
I thought
Pee
that was
Wee
good
Herman,
casting for sure.
Yeah, Pee Wee Herman is his dad.
Okay.
In the beginning of the film, it's Pee Wee Herman is the dad when they put him in the river.
Batman Returns.
Batman
We're watching the
Returns.
Batman.
Yeah, we are watching
The
the Batman.
Yeah, I told you,
or
every-
is it the Batman?
It's the Batman.
Or is
The
it
Batman
or
or
is it
the
Vengeance?
Batman?
the Batman?
The Batman.
Your choice, of course. Sorry.
Or how about Le Batman?
Okay.
That should be the next movie.
Le Batman.
What did you think of Robert Pattinson as Batman? Pretty much because he was only Batman.
I like when he was
very
topless.
rare. Huh?
We didn't get a lot of Bruce Wayne.
No, we didn't.
No,
I'm
But
fine
I
with that.
liked that because he didn't want to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
But he is Bruce Wayne.
But
No.
he wanted to escape and just become the Batman. Like he didn't
It's like
want to
when
live.
the
He didn't want to
Riddler-
be in the spotlight. He didn't.
The Riddler was like, you and I are the same. When we have the mask on, that's who we really are.
yeah.
That's exactly how I said it.
So in one way,
Did you-
No,
what
that
did you
was- That
think?
was good. You did a good
Thank
job.
you.
Yeah. Oh,
Alfred.
Sam.
Alfred.
I like when he was moving that table and he was
I
shirtless.
gotta be honest with you. I thought he was fine. I feel like It's weird, but I feel like all the actors who've played Batman, when they have the costume on, they all sound exactly the same, and they do the same thing.
Well, it's because you got a cheap TV, so you don't.
That's gotta be it. Because I've always joked about how as soon as you put the costume on, I'm Batman.
Yeah.
And they all do that.
I feel like Christian Bale's Batman was the worst when it comes to the voice.
When it comes to the voice.
Yeah.
Let me finish my
But you also
sentence.
spend a lot of time as Bruce Wayne with Christian Bale. A lot of time.
Very flashy. Yeah.
For those of
He
you,
did a really good Bruce Wayne.
He did.
I thought Christian Bale was great.
Yeah.
The Batman.
for those of you at home, Dan has a
I could have used a
26
different
inch
haircut,
CRT.
maybe, on Robert Pattinson's. That was a little shaggy.
that?
and
That's just very
could
dad
have
of
used a little
you.
different haircut.
That's just very dad. Get a
That's-
haircut.
I think that's-
No, I don't need that. I mean, there's a little more
I think-
styling, maybe. That was
No,
not,
I feel like it fits in with the mood of the whole movie. It's like you've
Okay.
got the black
The
eyeshadow.
emo Batman.
he
Yeah,
listens- he
you've got
listens
the
to-
Nirvana.
Yeah, Nirvana.
I can't deny that. You're probably right. I
Yeah.
think I was just set up going, or maybe just step back a little bit. And
If
went,
if it was like Pattinson in Nolan's world, that would have been
you're not-
Weird.
yeah.
you're not really dapper. You're
I
not
don't know.
really
It's doing
No.
it for me though.
happening
So
for me.
Dan.
I'm just saying.
I'm learning so much about you, Sam.
Yeah, me too. Not Christian Bale not doing it for you.
She
No.
bailed.
How
bailed.
about George Clooney?
No,
Oh my God.
You don't like the bat nipples?
freaks me out.
that was
A little
that movie
freaky.
was so bad.
I thought Kilmer did a good Bruce Wayne.
So is the Power Glove. It's so bad.
I don't have any. I don't even remember that movie honestly with Kilmer. Who was the
I-
who was that? Mr. Freeze. That was.
No,
Yeah.
no.
That was Kilmer.
No,
Mr.
Mr. Freeze
Kilmer-
was Kilmer.
Mm,
No,
Mr.
sorry. Mr. Freeze was
No.
Clooney.
So what was Kilmer?
was
Kilmer
Two
was
Face
Jim
and Riddler.
Carrey and yeah.
Two-Face and Enigma.
Enigma.
Two-faced.
Yes.
I thought the flood scene was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Going back to the Batman.
I felt
Le
like
Batman.
Le Batman.
maybe because I was tired, and this is like the 9th hour I've seen it.
Yeah.
I feel like the third act.
Drags.
Yeah. Well, second act for sure dragged.
Yeah.
You can cut
I
out
think
so
the
much.
second act is I wouldn't say the biggest flaw, but man, that
was
is a drag.
dense, yeah.
It is a drag.
It's so
and
much.
honestly, I fell asleep like at least twice.
Same.
Yeah.
And one time I fell asleep last night, I had to back up like 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
And I kept going backwards, going, no, I never saw. What? No, I never. I got up. I actually got some ice cream to sugar myself up, and went, okay, I'm back. And I went, oh my God, I slept for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
And
so
even watching that 20 minutes again, I was like, yeah, this is
A lot.
not really moving fast here. It's a very slow
It's a slow burn.
unfold here.
So
Yeah.
what time did you finish
I
the
don't
movie?
think you could cut out
After
too
midnight,
much of it, though.
And I started.
I feel like a
before
lot
8.
of it is.
Needed.
Yeah, I think just in the way it progresses, I think it's just a lot of plot and story in this amount of time. Like if they had cut it up
You
into
know
2
what?
movies,
They
or
could have
maybe
cut out Annika. Maybe mention a little bit,
Yes.
but I feel like Catwoman's. I get it. That's
yeah.
her friend, but I
don't
feel
think
like
they
spent
too much time on that just because it's a subplot. But I feel yeah, like if you entirely cut it out, sure it would be fine, but I don't think it would take too much out, to be honest.
I think it's tough though when you.
Because all it is, sorry, I didn't mean to.
That's all right. Go
Because
ahead.
all it is really motivation for Catwoman.
Right.
They don't really spend a lot of time with the character.
I don't know.
You swap it out with another motivation, you still got all that time to motivate Catwoman to do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You know?
only,
I think that I'm sorry. Let me just say this real quick. I think though, for a movie that's almost 3 hours long, you're basically following one story, meaning one comic book story hero. There's no like flipping over to other characters with their storyline and other characters with like an Avenger movie, for example, where you've got a half a dozen different storylines going on. It's a long movie.
It is.
I'm not saying I don't disagree that maybe because of the way it, the kind of the sort of the mystery and detective story it was, that maybe a lot of that needed to be there. But 3 hours is a long, long time for a movie like this, in my opinion. I felt the length big time.
the only time, I think the first time where I really felt it, and I thought the movie was wrapping up, I was like, here we go, it's cool, is when they're with Falcone and is outside the police station, and there's the gunshot, and he dies.
right.
I was like, okay, cool. This movie's ending soon. I was like, then they're like, oh, we gotta find the gunner, and I was like, oh yeah, the Riddler's in this movie. I like totally forgot. I'm like, wait.
Who plays Falcone again? What's his name?
Oh, John
Turturro.
You don't fuck with the Jesus.
Okay, that doesn't give me the
John-
name.
John
Turturro.
Turturro. That's a
John
weird
Turturro.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's his name. John.
I
don't-
thought he was perfect for
He's
this
such
role.
a
Oh,
he's
yeah.
such a good actor.
He is so good.
I love that
But
guy.
he was mostly in comedy, no? Like he plays
yeah,
like the
he was
henchman
always
in
the
a
same-
way.
He's very quirky. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if it's not comedy, he's just a really. This
He
is like the
creeped me
least.
out.
This
Yeah.
is the least quirky I've ever
He
seen
creeped
him.
me out in this
He's-
movie for
he's-
sure.
He's really good.
Especially with Catwoman. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
god.
he's always the guy that's like not quite there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, he's
Like-
in Big Lebowski, no?
Yeah, you don't fuck with
and
the
he's
Jesus.
also
Thank you.
in
Yeah.
the other one with George Clooney.
Mr. Deeds.
Well, Mr. Deeds.
yeah,
yes.
no, with the toe guy.
No, what's the one?
with
The one with George Clooney, the other Coen Brothers movie.
Transformers.
No. Oh, brother, where art thou?
Oh, brother, where art thou? He's in
not
that.
seek
That's
the treasure.
actually a
Transformers, you're right.
very
Bumblebee.
strange but fun movie.
Well, like you said, it's adaptation. It's the Odyssey.
like,
it's
oh,
them.
sorry, it's the Odyssey.
It's the Odyssey. Like we're saying,
but I was
taking
I
the
was
afraid.
gonna
source
say it's
material.
Ulysses, but it was the Odyssey.
But I was afraid.
Yeah. Anyway, getting off course.
Bo was afraid to make a movie.
Oh wait,
yeah, I felt like the
we
third-
saw the Batman. Go
The
ahead.
I felt like
Batman.
the third act also was kind of messy. But also,
Messy?
it could be because I was falling asleep.
I
I don't know.
I don't disagree. I actually went on I was telling, I think, Sam before we started that I actually went on some blogs and stuff
Oh,
to
yeah.
kind of explain some of the third act to me because I was like, I'm very confused right now, but maybe I
what was
am just
what were
falling
some of the
asleep.
parts?
Why are you asking me that?
Well, if you can't remember them, then they're fine.
Let's keep
That's
talking.
as much as he
I'll bring
doesn't
them up.
he doesn't understand them so much that he can't remember them because he doesn't know what he maybe
It's
didn't understand.
understandception. Yes.
No, keep
I
talking,
think
and I'll
that
tell
there
you. Keep
was
talking.
one or two rewrites during the pre-production, where it was reported that they wanted to amp up the action. So I think that's probably where some of that
Yeah.
heaviness comes from.
Yeah.
I appreciate it only because, like you say, it does feel like such a slow burn sometimes that those punches of action really wake you up.
Yeah, revives
So
you. Yeah.
I don't know that you could, or maybe this movie was written over 3 years, so of course,
1
An
hour
hour
per
for each year.
Thank you, Travis.
I don't know if adding another year to iron those out would
It
have
would have made it a 4-hour
made
movie.
it. Yeah,
It would have been a Scorsese movie.
Yeah.
this felt like Batman Scorsese to me, in that they put their all into it in as many aspects as they could. Like you say, the art direction, the music, the cinematography.
I didn't think of that, but yeah, I can totally see that. I was reading, people were saying it's very Hitchcock-like. I did not see a Hitchcock in this movie. Scorsese, for sure, now that you brought that up. But they were saying, it's very Hitchcockian in it because the way it's a mystery and everything. But I didn't,
yeah, I
I
don't
didn't
see
get
that.
feel at all.
Yeah, no, I would not agree with that either. I think it was more like Fincher.
That one's,
For
I
sure.
haven't heard that one, but that was a really good comparison.
Yeah, that's a good
for
one.
sure.
Fincher, yeah.
Very much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the reveal of the carpet and you see where the
Oh
bombs
yeah,
are.
yeah, that was cool.
But I don't know if I liked it being at the stadium. I'm just being nitpicky, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about
The choice or the
choice of it being
final
at-
act being
Can-
there.
the choice.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
be nitpicky too?
No, don't point at me.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Could you please be nitpicky?
No, the only thing though, and like I said, I don't know if it's me thinking too much, is how Batman's not Batman, the Riddler's the only way, which you can't, the only way to build a new system is to get rid of the pre-existing one. So
Yeah.
that's why he wants to flood the city.
Yeah.
It's we got to start
Cleanse,
from fresh.
yeah.
We got to cleanse. But he's I got to get rid of all the people on the top. Right, all the heads. So it's well, yeah. So I'm gonna flood the stadium, but it's I feel like all the people that are going to the stadium are people that don't have anywhere to go,
Yeah.
or anywhere
Yeah.
to go.
It was
And it's
an
okay, well,
evacuation,
you're
yeah.
actually gonna be probably killing the people that are at the bottom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your own people.
Yeah, your own people, and the guys we said, well, Falcone, and all the heads. It's no, they're gonna be evacuated to
Yeah.
other places.
Well, that's why
That's-
you get them first, though.
I get
that
it.
was
No,
his
that's
whole
what I'm saying.
plan.
That's me
Yeah.
being super picky.
Yeah, I get it, but and I know.
But you gotta have a
maybe-
movie.
Maybe
You
I'll
gotta-
be over defensive about this, or
That's
maybe
why.
that's
That's
what
why I
it'll-
said I was
No,
getting
yeah,
ready.
yeah.
Yes,
But
me-
what I'm saying is, I want to address that because a lot of times with these villain plots, it's not supposed to fully make sense.
Yeah.
You're supposed to feel like you're going a little too far, like you're
Right.
it's that
They're driven so far into
that
the
trope of, but our men are still out there, whatever, just do it. Like collateral damage does not matter
Exist,
to a villain like that. Like,
The ends justify the means.
yes, exactly.
That's-
And the whole point of that was just to get rid of as many of the new mayor, Bella Real. Yeah, it was to take her out and to make sure that this point is made. By that point he'd already taken down the DA, Falcone, the previous
Penguin, not
mayoral
Falcone.
candidate. It's.
No, I get it.
It makes sense, but I still think it's like I would agree that it as far as plots go, like where would he go after that? Is where my nitpick would be. Like, what after getting caught?
What else is there to do?
Yeah, what else was there to do? I know, maybe that was thought out, and it there will be some kind of answer in another.
But at the same time,
but I don't think it needs to be answered.
No, because at the same time, I'm getting kind of, and if we don't need it, and I'm getting kind of really tired of that cliche. And it was also used in The Dark Knight too. Was the whole like the villain? Oh, it was part of my plan the whole time to get caught because now I have a bomb or something that's gonna blow up. And
Did we understand at the end of the movie who the Riddler was talking to?
Yeah.
yes, I can tell
Joker.
it was a deleted scene.
No, Two-Face.
No,
Joker.
no,
It's
it's
Joker.
the Joker, and I did not know that. That's something I had to look up.
It was a deleted
'Cause I would go-
scene.
Did you see the deleted scene?
No,
They
I
had
did
like
not
a full,
see the
like you
deleted
actually
scene.
see Joker. They like
He
talk.
looks grotesque.
Where is
Very.
the deleted
It's
scene?
on YouTube. We can send it to
Oh,
you.
no.
Yeah.
So it wasn't in the
No,
credits.
they released it way after.
But I was just saying that at the end, I was like, who's he talking to?
What's the guy's name?
I looked it up like
Barry
you can look
Keoghan?
up anything.
Or Barry. I think I might be saying his name wrong. Like
No,
Barry.
you're right. Barry
Barry
Keoghan.
Keoghan.
Very good.
Wait, were you done talking? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I cut you
No,
off.
that was just
Oh, okay.
that was all.
That-
I was just wondering if you guys knew when you,
You know
saw
what?
it.
That
I didn't.
now that you've brought it up, that is one nitpick
I was gonna say.
yeah, that's one area
That's-
where I was like, yeah, you could have cut that out.
No.
I mean, I get that they put that in for fans as an
Right.
Easter egg kind
Yeah.
of thing, but
No need.
wasn't
Yeah.
necessary.
I will even get a little more nitpicker and say I was in denial when that scene first came out. We saw it in theaters.
That's a river in Egypt, right?
It's not just a river in Egypt.
No, you
What?
said you were in in
Oh,
denial, so
yes.
you were actually in it.
That's where I was last week.
Okay, cool.
But so when I was watching it, I kept thinking, I was like, maybe it's Joker, and there were people when we were coming out of the theater. They were like, oh yeah, that's the Joker, and I was thinking, no, it's not. It's Two-Face.
I was
'Cause
the
that's
same.
what I wanted. And I think a part of me, it's like as much as I really liked this film, the one thing I kind of wish they did was kind of not release that scene, and I wanted to see more. We got a brand new, like I said, we got Riddler again. We saw things that we have not seen in Batman films in a long time. I wish we could have gotten Two-Face. I wish
Yeah.
they would have done something a little different, because we have seen the Joker
So many times.
and since
But also because of
2000.
like Jim Carrey and
Because-
like
yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones,
Yeah, I was like,
We're used to that.
I kind of wanted to see someone
the duo.
different. Yeah,
Yeah.
a duo,
Yeah.
someone different. That's my one.
It-
I mean, we'll see. We'll see when it comes out.
It feels like the Joker is the main, at least for the Hollywood, the main bad
Yeah.
guy. They just love to go back to him, like he's the guy.
I think
he's
'cause he's
Batman's
so-
greatest nemesis.
Yeah.
Well, he's
I don't know if that's
introduced.
true, but I
he
mean,
is. He's introduced in the same comic that Batman is. Batman #1 has the first appearance of the Joker and Catwoman, and those are the two characters that have carried on since the beginning of Batman's
Okay.
history.
But I think too, it's because, like I said, it's the most familiar with the audience. It's like everyone knows. People will be like, "Oh, I want to go see this." Or see, yeah, I know who Joker is. Let's
Yeah.
go. They don't have to
I think
try to
also
like.
from an actor standpoint, it must be fun to play Joker as opposed to like
Yeah.
Two-Face.
Even Tommy Wiseau
Yeah.
wants to play Joker.
Oh, jeez. I
Can
mean,
I-
you don't get too many villains that are just pure evil without like any
No.
room for gray area. Like
Yeah.
Joker's,
Pretty
you
demented.
you should be understanding the assignment when you
Yeah.
accept that role.
Yeah.
You can interpret him in so many different,
No, you can't. He's just pure evil. Shut up.
I have a confession. So I fell asleep, right?
Uh huh.
I woke up to the part where they were in the jail cell, Dano and Pattinson, and I was like, did the main part of like the flood happen already?
Yes.
So no, it didn't. Cause the flood happened after.
Yeah.
Oh, it did?
Yeah, it happens after.
So
I fell asleep.
I was
as
like,
well.
maybe I'm close to being done. So I paused it. Had an hour left. Had a freaking hour left. So I fast forwarded.
That's
That's
fine.
That is a beautiful confession.
You've already
Wait.
seen it twice.
Yeah.
Wait, from the
I wish
moment
you'd
that they're
never
in the
seen
jail
it and
cell?
just went, I got
There's
Just
still
like
an hour
I
left.
sparked notes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
an
see?
hour.
I did not.
And that's when I was like, oh, this movie drags.
That's the thing. This movie really is really long.
I didn't feel it drag. I think like
In your cigarette.
I felt like it dragged to that point, like the middle
And then it picked up?
chapter. Yeah, it wasn't bad, but it just
Slow burn.
that Batmobile scene is very much needed in that middle
I agree.
middle section.
I agree.
Otherwise,
It revved it
it's-
up. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the very nature of like a noir film, if you like, literally, if you watch like Philip Marlowe and movies like that, like
Yeah, I do
Bogart movies
every day.
back- I know you do. But if you watch those movies that were made, or the Raymond Chandler wrote these
Also, yes.
novels. I know you do. It's just that is a pace of that style.
Yeah.
But those movies were like 95, 100 minutes long
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, and back then,
And-
before people knew how to make entertainment,
Yeah, exactly. When everybody just broke into song and it got slow. But no, that is the style. I mean, there's narration. You know, it's usually the detective is kind of walking you through stuff, but it has a very sort of lazy style to
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But I think when you're lazy and 3 hours long, that's really lazy. And that's when Sam and I get lazy and fall asleep.
They tried to
Clearly.
make an epic noir movie, and
That's
things
that's
are,
a challenge.
Yeah.
And I think they achieved it 85% of the time.
Yeah.
I think the 3 hour. You know what? I always joke about this. Batman just needed to walk faster. That's all I'm saying. If he walked faster, the movie would have been 2 hours 30.
Walk faster and talk louder.
There you go.
That would be my
Yeah.
two
Long-
biggest criticisms. I would be if I were in a Batman movie. I'd say, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Yeah.
One more time, please. Were you talking to me? Because I can't hear you.
Talking about long films. What did you all think?
Were you not listening to the humor we were just doing?
It was okay.
Better than your humor.
Oh yeah, I know. I can tell you that.
All right, bring us back in.
what-
What were you
no,
saying?
I'm not talking about the Batman. I was just like, because I know we're talking just films with like a sequel.
Talk about the Batman.
No,
That's,
no,
the whole, that's just
no.
the whole podcast.
I was gonna say is how we're. Quick filling. I'm doing your Batman because you said talk faster, so I was listening. I'm gonna walk faster
And then
too.
just stumbling
What would
over
you
his
do?
words.
Batman. I almost said Batman 2049. What? Blade Runner 2049. Too
Oh
long.
no, that's another
long.
movie.
How long was
No,
that movie?
that's another movie. That's
wasn't-
another.
Almost
I'm
3
talking
hours.
slow.
What was
we're
it, like
going
2 hours
slow.
56?
I like both. I'm sorry.
Because that's another people.
But I feel like with Blade Runner, like it was consistently slow burn, so I was just falling asleep throughout the movie. But I liked it.
Yeah, because that's another complaint
it's
some people
pretty.
have. They said they liked it, but it was too long.
Well, great
I
art
didn't
direction
mind.
for sure. Really
Deacon.
well done.
Deacon did that.
What did
And
you
Denny-
say?
The
Oh,
original
Deacons,
Blade
yeah.
Runner was not a success, though. Those were not successful movies.
Yeah, not-
No,
Yeah.
I don't
Neither
think they were
one
made
were.
to be. I mean,
Yeah,
well, they were made to be,
Well,
but
yeah,
not
but
like.
I mean, they were not. I think people. Well, we're getting off course, but
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
the
is new?
first, I think in hindsight, as time went by with Blade Runner, we all looked at it as, oh, this was a classic. This was like
Yeah.
a. But
It became a cult classic, yeah.
It
Well,
did,
no, when
and
it came
is,
out- when
but
it first
was
came out, people
not
didn't like it.
successful.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I don't even think critically it was successful. It had to
No,
be
it
No,
reevaluated.
it
really
lukewarm.
wasn't, and the
Yeah.
sequel wasn't either. But for people who love and follow his movies, like, well, you know, it is what the first one was. I mean, it's the same.
Did you know that Batman Begins, the visual style of it was inspired by Blade Runner?
Really?
No.
Yeah,
I did not know
Nolan
that.
actually hosted a screening for cast and crew before they started filming, going, "This is the movie we're making."
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
I can totally see that.
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
and that's my one.
Into the mic.
I know I'm leading
Where
into
is
it, and that's my one. See, it's like I'm walking slow. I'm
Travis,
walking
just
slow to them.
talk.
No, in the Batman Begins, you kind of had, like you said, like that kind of like noirish Blade Runner, Gotham, and then Dark Knight and Dark Knight. Like it's Chicago.
It's cleaned up, yeah.
It's Chicago. We just
Well,
that monorail
it doesn't
doesn't
This
translate
one's
translate
Times
anymore.
Square.
Gotham City is in New Jersey.
Yeah.
That's the actual location.
Yes,
I
sir.
didn't know that.
I didn't either. I looked it up last night. I went, where is Gotham supposed to be New York? Because that's what Metropolis, right? It's supposed to be like
Well,
New
yeah,
York.
get the
Well,
Jersey
Gotham
River.
is
You
not
have
New York.
Yeah,
Gotham is in
They're
New
across the
Jersey.
river.
Yeah, Gotham and Metropolis are both inspired by New York, but the common phrase is Gotham is New York at night and Metropolis is New York during the day.
Interesting.
Yeah, this was definitely New York at night.
At night.
Isn't Batman always at night? Is there
Yeah.
any daytime in a Batman movie?
There's it always feels weird when you see Batman during the day.
Yeah, he doesn't look right.
No, like they did it in Dark Knight Rises, and they're doing it again for the Flash. But at least the Flash Batman during the day looks okay.
Keaton during the day looks fine.
Yeah, Keaton.
Wait,
Keaton,
what's happening?
What?
What?
We're talking about Batman during the day versus at night. How it's weird.
Well, he's
just
the
seeing
Dark
Batman.
Knight, so it needs to be
Well, yeah, like in
dark.
this one
Hey,
when
do
he
you
was
wear?
like,
Wow, you just cut off Sam.
I stopped.
Sexist.
Yeah.
What
way
were
to-
you saying,
Way to
Sam?
go, Travis.
it's like when in that part where he woke up in the daytime, he couldn't even like look at the freaking
No, because he's a bat.
he's a bat. Yeah, he had to put on sunglasses.
That's what I was saying. I was like, do you wear your cape? I wear my bat.
Okay.
We
cape.
also had that groovy sort of like 60s sort of shaggy haircut and his sort of dark eye makeup and
Yeah, he didn't wash it off completely.
He did the
Whatever,
whole Robert.
Mom.
The
Oh,
whole.
wait.
It's not just a phase, Mom.
Not just Robert Pattinson.
Wait, but
Robert
who did he
Smith.
say that to?
it's a lifestyle,
No
Mom.
one. No, the line that took me out was when he told Alfred, "You're not my dad."
That's right.
Well, stop pretending to be.
I miss Michael Caine. I'm sorry. I miss Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
I liked
You don't-
I liked his
Andy.
Alfred.
Yeah,
Andy,
Oh, Andy Serkis?
Serkis.
yeah, I liked him as Alfred.
I'm sorry, what's that last name?
Circus.
And then there's Andy Fair. Or Andy Carnival.
I'm gonna.
Anyway, yeah.
Can we wrap it up? I'm tired.
All right, let's do
That's
it.
what she said.
Final thoughts.
I will
I think it's
tip
been a
your phone.
great conversation, though. We have covered so much ground with just Batman and comic books. And
Yeah.
Not as much
Has it
the
been a-
Batman.
No,
Well,
but
I
I,
mean,
think
I think
it's spawned a really great conversation, in my
Yeah.
opinion, anyway.
Batman is just such a loaded character. You can't help but like go on tangents. There's almost 90 years of content.
And I think, and Travis, before you got here, Frank, was actually saying that we are so familiar with this character and so much history behind, like you just said, with this character, that you could just have an entire podcast, which we kind of just did, just talking about Batman. And
I would
sort
love
of
to do that, Dan.
I think we kind of almost
This is everything
did in
and
a
the
weird
best.
way. I mean, we didn't do it on purpose, but I think we kind of did do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's cool about it, honestly.
Those your final thoughts?
And we'll be doing it again.
My final thoughts, honestly, I think I said it. I thought the mood was great. I love the cinematography. I love the art direction. I love the music. I thought the casting was really good. I do think Pattinson did a really good job. I don't have a lot. My big criticism, honestly, is I just think it's long. I think it's slow. I did fall asleep. I don't know if that's
5 out of 5.
I don't know if that would have been. I don't know if that. I mean, I don't think I would have fallen asleep if I was seen in a theater. Let's put it that way. I think
Yeah.
it was just sort of the nature of the environment I'm in and all that. But I mean, it's an argument. I think it's too long. I think it could have been shorter. But then we could argue about, well, how could you make it shorter? It'd have to be just a different script, I think,
Yeah.
to make it shorter. But I would like to see it again, honestly. But again, if you can find me a theater with a nice big screen to watch it in, I would definitely be up for it. I would say for now, I would give it a 3.2. What did I say here? Hang on, I had. What did I
It's
have?
going to take you 3 hours now to fun.
I mean,
This is take longer than the movie. 3.2 riddles out of 5.
nice.
You know, there were a lot of riddles in the movie.
There were a lot of riddles.
Well, was the Riddler, you know. He does riddles.
Who?
The Riddler.
What did you?
That was so sensual. That was so sensual. That freaked me out.
It was Steven Spielberg's dad.
All right, bye, everyone.
Steven Spielberg's dad.
Yeah, that's where it's happening, baby.
You sound like a character in like a Rob Zombie. I almost said Robert Zombie.
Bring on the Riddler, man.
There's not enough
Bring out
redneck
the
in there.
gimp.
Bring out the Riddler.
All right.
Yeah.
So my
Travis. Oh,
final
Sam.
thoughts.
Coming
It's a
across
Sam.
to Sam.
First viewing, really liked it. I thought it was great.
The first
take
3
3
hours
hours.
out of 9.
And like I didn't feel the 3 hours the first time. I was like, okay, I was like really enthralled. Second viewing, I was like, okay, just walk faster, should be fine, whatever. Third viewing, that's when I was like, this is too much. I can't do this. So I don't think I'll be watching
There will
this
not be
again.
a fourth viewing.
There will not be a fourth viewing
But to
unless
be
it's like,
fair, you watched it 3 times.
Exactly,
I've
so-
only watched it once.
yeah.
And it took me 4 hours to get through a 3-hour
But
movie because I kept falling asleep.
I love slow burn, so I enjoyed it. But like I feel like I would watch it in a 20th anniversary in IMAX or something.
Yeah.
But with that said, I will give it 3.7 drop heads out of 5.
Nice.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Travis needs to go next because Frank is going to wrap this baby up.
I am
All right.
gonna wrap her up because she's long. Wait, what?
That was Maggie.
That's what she said.
go,
He's
please.
long.
All right. So,
please go.
I
And thank you, Travis. And Frank, what do you think about the movie?
oh my god.
Oh my
Kind
For
of
those just
opposite.
listening at home, he just dropped the mic.
Kind of opposite from Sam here.
Ooh.
The first time I watched it, I was like, "Damn, this is long." Like I said, I liked it, but just like I said, with the whole with the scene where Falcone dies, I was like, "We got a whole third act to go through now." I liked it though. I liked it. Then I had to go see it again, so I was kind of not dreading seeing it for the second time because I knew I would have to see it again. So the whole second time I was going, I was like, "Oh my god, I don't know if I can do this right now."
I don't have
I
enough
don't know
time to
if I
put
could
aside.
get through it. So I did it. I went, I saw it again. Movie flew by. I couldn't believe it.
Talking about this last time?
No, the second time when I saw it in theaters for
How
the
many
second time.
times have you seen it?
I saw
Thrice.
Yeah, yeah.
And
me.
why
going on-
did you go a second time?
Because there was Jennifer wanted to see it.
Oh, okay.
The first time I saw it I saw it at work for the first time.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So that's why I knew. That's why I was like, I knew I'd have to see it anyway. So I was like debating, should I see it that first time? I just went. So the second time I was like, it flew by. I was so surprised. I was like, oh my god. But with that said, now, and it's why I don't own the movie, Sam. I was like, this movie, I don't think I can do it at home.
Yeah.
I don't think I can do it. I didn't buy it. I wasn't watching it at home. I'm like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I like this movie, but it's almost one where it's hard for me to recommend for everyone to watch because while I think it's a good movie, I don't know. And this isn't even me being like a gatekeeper, me saying, because people won't understand it. Especially like for Dan, for you having to see it the first time, with certain people, I'm like, I don't know. It's a lot to take in at home. Is this kind of made more for the big screen?
Absolutely.
Like most movies are. It's really hard because I feel like you have to kind of get people in that perfect environment to watch it. Like I said, like there's even people, like I said, there's some I can't recommend it to.
I think, can I just jump in? Because
Yeah.
I like what you're saying because I hate it when people say to me, oh, you didn't see it in the theater? Well, you didn't see the movie then. But I think in this case, this is a movie
Yeah.
that you really want to see in a theater. It deserves that, and I think it would be a way different experience.
Which is why I'm glad at the same time it did so well in theaters. Like it did really well. And it's why too, like certain movies, like if I know it's really long, I will force myself to go see it in theaters. Because I'm like, if I don't see it, it's like that's why I watched The Irishman. I watched that in theaters when it came out. I was like, there is no way.
There's
if I have
nowhere
the
to hide.
option
That's
for
why
that
I've never seen it.
If I have the option for the pause button, I'm not going to finish this.
No, I've never seen it because I did not see it in the
I
theaters.
kept telling
and I'm like,
people.
I can't sit
I
through
kept
this.
telling people I just watched the first season of The Irishman. That's what it felt like. But no, that's what I said. And it's me now being
Mike.
It's now me being 3 hours explaining my thing. Is like I said, it's good, but like there's just I don't know a lot of. It's hard to recommend everyone. I'll sum it up. I'll say, I think it's great. I really like it. There's a lot of story, but I feel like at the same time I agree with Frank, where I don't think you can take a lot of it out. I think it's every scene kind of serves its purpose. My one complaint is I didn't like that the Joker was in it. I don't know. I mean, that's just me being nitpicky. I'll say it's not a perfect movie because of that. I'll give it probably like
a 5.
No, I'll give it a good amazing soundtrack on the vinyl. I'll give it a good 4 out of 5 thumb drives.
Okay.
That's a lot of thumbs.
But
4.2.
I'll add more.
I don't
4.2. Yeah.
I don't think you can cut this movie.
No.
You'd have to write
I agree.
a different script. Could be the same story, but it would have to be a different script.
I agree.
You can't just edit this movie.
I think
don't
it's too dense
Yeah, I
story-wise.
do
It
too.
won't
I
work.
forgot to mention something.
Yes.
I feel like what I really like though is if you take out the Batman aspect, like the superhero or whatever you want to call him, out, it's still a really good thriller.
Compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
you
a
could have
crime
made
thriller.
this just a detective movie.
Right, and
I mean,
like when you say
same
it's like
story,
a
without it being Batman,
right, like it's like a Scorsese thing.
And it
Scorsese could have just easily done it, and it would have
would've-
been great.
And
totally worked.
This guy's against the movie, but another movie that's great at that is you can take the Captain America character out of Captain America and Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and you have yourself a very good political thriller movie. But
True though. True.
That is true. Have you seen
The second one.
You've seen Winter Soldier, right?
Yes.
with Robert
Yeah.
Redford,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it. I mean,
actually like Civil War better, honestly.
really.
Yeah, because to me that was just an
Iron-
Avenger movie.
Avenger 2.5.
Yeah, I guess. I feel like
I need more variety and less Captain America. I honestly.
I feel like Civil War is just a little too bland, both visually and
I feel like
maybe
it's
not
not
story
really-
wise, but like
I
That
feel
was
like-
the beginning of the
I
end.
feel like the only thing that made it a Captain America movie was that his
that he
name
was
was
in
in the
it?
title.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really was an
that
Iron
did
Man
feel
movie.
like that movie was hijacked
It
for
was
sure.
totally hijacked.
It was.
Well,
it was still.
yeah, I remember
it
when
was
it came-
okay.
Again, I like Ragnarok. I think that movie is so much fun.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was a
Ragnarok's
blast.
good.
Up until then, I hated Thor. Honestly, the Ragnarok movie. Oh, cool. So you do have a sense of humor. I
Yeah.
didn't think
So,
you did.
yeah,
That was- you're just doing
they-
Shakespeare, so you actually do have a sense of humor. So your brother's not the most interesting thing going on.
Shake a
That's
spear.
so sad.
I
but true.
remember, Dan, you kept calling Civil War. You were like, oh yeah, Avengers 2.5.
Exactly. Frank, tell us why we're all. Well, no, we're not all wrong.
No, you guys aren't wrong. But
But this
you
is
are.
why you're wrong.
You're stupid.
I have to agree with you guys. The movie's very dense. It's very long. It's slow, but sometimes that's fine.
It's good to just
Especially
slow down.
Long and
for-
slow has gotten me through life.
That's what I heard.
That's what she said.
Hey, lots of people spend 10 years in college.
10 years and what?
In college.
Oh,
College doctors. No, 7 years. Sorry.
yeah.
It's
As
John
we've
Belushi, 6 years at college down the drain.
You didn't want a 3-hour podcast, but I
Oh, we
feel
got
like
one now. Keep going.
as we've gone over this, the characters talk low, but the music is great.
And the ambitions are high.
The action, I
love
think,
the score.
is entertaining.
chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss. Mwah. There's nothing that I can nitpick the movie. I can criticize little things about it, but overall, I think it just hits all the notes that I wanted it to. As a fan of Batman, it gives me everything that I want about a Batman movie. It gives me the action. It gives me the noir aspect. It gives me a little bit of that horror aspect to it. The villains are interesting and grand, but also very how can I say this? Not relatable. What's that word?
For the villains?
Not
yeah,
relatable.
The not relatable, but
Are you saying
Familiar?
the shit
No,
movie's not relatable?
shit. I lost the plot of this little thing that I was gonna say, but I will just say that no movie is perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I can point out a million different things in a million different movies and choose those to be the reasons why this movie's not perfect, why it doesn't deserve a perfect score. But if we were to go that way, nothing would ever get a perfect score.
Right.
This movie does everything that it sets out to do for me. And so for that reason, I'm going to have to give it a perfect score. But just as to put that out there, no movie will ever be perfect for anybody.
I think you're right.
Even I'm sure you could find things to criticize about Everything Everywhere All at Once,
No.
but you would still
No.
ultimately
but
like.
Frank, you're right. There's no perfect movie.
Yeah.
But there is a perfect experience, and I think
Yes.
that's the
There we
difference.
go.
Personal experience.
Absolutely
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the difference.
Yeah.
So
I
if
would
you had a perfect experience, then to you, that's perfect.
exactly.
And you know the movie's not perfect because nothing is, but
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the whole point of art.
Right,
It's to,
absolutely.
It's to provoke some kind of emotion.
Absolutely.
Not to be perfect. So with that being said, I'm going to have to go all the way back to the beginning, to that opening scene.
We're gonna talk about this all over again. Got it.
Yeah.
okay.
And
so
I'm
we'll
gonna
be up till 2.
So I'm going to give this movie 5 out of 5 bondage plays gone wrong.
Wait, what?
The tape?
Bondage plays gone wrong.
Yes.
Why is
Fitting.
your hair so emo,
I
Travis?
totally
I'm Robert
understand.
Pattinson.
I don't remember.
Well, you gotta.
It's
not.
okay.
It's not coming through.
Travis in his emo era.
Travis, he's in his emo era.
I like how it's not coming through, and then you put the phone further away from the mic, so no one.
Because
can
I
hear
don't know if we're gonna copyright. I don't want.
I don't want to
we're
do a
not.
quick wrap up, but this has been a very, very compelling and fun conversation.
Yeah.
I've had
It's
a
kind
great
of sad
time.
that it's going to be our last episode.
Oh yeah, we never talked
So
about
far,
Have we been canceled?
No, I think we're waiting on a visitor, I think, right?
All right. This has
Chaotic.
been. Oh, please follow us. Please comment, share, love,
talk
Embrace.
about, discuss.
discuss, talk about, enjoy us.
If you ever
share
have
us.
that, if you have a long, summer's coming up. If you going on a family trip or you're going with friends on a trip and you're having a long car ride, you know what makes a long car ride great?
No, what,
listening
Travis?
to a podcast.
And what podcast could they listen
Stranger
to?
in the Alps, because we all watch movies. Everyone watches movies. You
Just
can be
the
like,
one stranger in the Alps.
just the.
Yeah, don't go to
I
all
said
the
that
Alps.
right
just
the
the
first
one Alp.
time. I said
Yeah,
that right
actually
the first
he did.
time.
So let's congratulate him
Yay!
Oh,
first
congratulations, Travis.
first season
for getting
goals.
something right.
All right. This has been Strangers in the Alps, a slasher podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Travis.
I'm tired.
I'm Batman.
We'll see you later.
Okay.
We are out.
We'll be back.
Is there going to be a new season? There's that tower again. Can't wait to get rid of.
He's here.
I'll turn on the car's emergency lights. Give him something to aim for.
Frank, here, take this branch.
All right, I'll go over there.
Guys, do you see that?
What?
Looks like the sky's breaking.
It's coming from the tower.
It's heading for the plane.
I gotta warn him.
Travis, wait.
Hello? Fuck!
He's not gonna make it in time.
It's too late. Get out of there.
It's gonna fall in the cabin. How's the landing strip looking?
That's kind of personal.
Son of a.
All right, let's go.